This is the call to order. This is the Durham Village Commission hearing. Today is November 1st, 2023. We're at 1 Dunlop Front Street, second floor, room 204. The next business meeting, it's 4:01 p.m. Next business meeting will be Wednesday, November 22nd, 2023 at 12 noon here at 1 Dunlop Front Street, second floor, next door, room 205. The next hearing will be here, this room, Wednesday, December 6th, 2023 at 4 p.m. Go ahead and swear in staff. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and the truth.
I do.
And your name?
I'm Nicole Urson.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to the commissioners present, starting down on the left over there.
AJ Minerva.
Ned Thiel, Anthony Hartke, Chair.
Rachel Schultz.
And then moving on to staff approvals that begin on page 11 of your agenda. Are there any recusals?
Mr. Chairman, if there are no recusals, I move to ratify the staff approvals.
No recusals. Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
We've got a second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor? Against? Ayes have it. Motion passes. Moving on to the approval of minutes from last meeting, October 4th, 2023.
Mr. Chairman, I so move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Give a second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor? Against? Ayes have it. Motion passes. Moving on for the applications for certificates of appropriateness. Item number 1, GV-23-11-025, 123 Deschler Avenue. The applicant comes up. Once you're settled, no rush, please raise your right hand. You're fine. Right, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
And your name?
Julie Bullock.
Thank you very much. Cool.
This is an application for a variance recommendation. The variance is 3332.26E to allow for a side yard setback of 1.11 feet for the existing garage along the east property line in lieu of the required 3 feet. Staff does note this is an existing condition of the existing garage. Staff analysis at the November business meeting, the commission had no requests for additional information. Staff notes the condition of the variance is an existing condition of the garage on the east side, excuse me, and is not caused by the addition to the west side of the existing garage. The basis for the staff recommendation is that it's somewhat consistent with the Durham Village guidelines for zoning variances on page 135. Oh, and sorry, the recommendation, the staff recommends the commission recommend the variance as submitted.
Anything else to add?
Just that I didn't realize the existing non-conforming applied to garages. I thought it was just the house because we're more than 15% the square footage. And you guys have already seen this and given us a COA and everything. So it's kind of one of those technical things that.
Questions, commission?
Mr. Chairman, on item GB 2311-025, 123 Deschler Avenue, I move to make the recommendation for the zoning variance.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor? Against? Ayes have it. Recommendation is passed.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving ahead to item number 2, GV-23-08-029, 838 City Park.
Good afternoon.
Once you're settled, raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
And your name?
My name is Sarah Pollier. I'm an attorney for the property owner, Shana Sokol.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Cool.
This is an application for an exterior building alteration to the roof. It's repairing the slate roof and replace 35 slate tiles and to remove the iron detail with the cresting from the lower or the porch roof line. Staff analysis is that code enforcement reached out to HPO staff about the metal railing on May 5th of 2023. HPO staff confirmed with code enforcement that the metal railing should be reinstalled. At the time, it was believed the metal railing was only removed for painting. The applicant did receive a COA for painting as a staff approved application on May 15th, and that was GV-23-06-012. The application was then placed on the August agenda due to removal of the decorative iron detail on the porch roof line. At the August business meeting, the commission recommended the applicant prepare a method to reinstall or replace the iron roof, the iron detail from the roof line, and requested current photos of the house showing the iron having been removed. The commission requested staff check the files for any historic photos. At that time, the applicant did provide new photos, and staff has also provided photos from 1999 from the file. At the August hearing, the application was continued to the applicant's absence, and the applicant attended the September 2023 GBC hearing. The following is from the approved September 2023 GBC hearing minutes, commissioner comments. All of the commissioners confirmed they would require the iron rail to be reinstalled. The iron rail can be referred to as a cresting. And as the property is within the boundaries of the German Village District, the property is contributing to the district's National Register status and therefore subject to review by the German Village Commission for any and all exterior modifications according to Columbus City Code 3116 and 3119. The application was withdrawn from the October agenda prior to the hearing and placed on the November agenda at the applicant's request. At the November business meeting, the commission had no request for additional information from the applicant. The staff recommendation is that staff recommends that the commission offer feedback and continue the application to allow time for the applicant to amend their design to be more in line with the German Village guidelines and city code. Staff also notes that slate repair is a staff approvable item, but because it was a part of the code violation, we just grouped it together for the sake of review. The basis for the staff recommendation is 311923, 311925, and 311927. Also 311604, certificate required. 311611, standards for alteration 1, 2, 3, 9, 10, and 12. And the German Village guidelines for ornamentation for trim brackets with mold shutters and light fixtures 1 and 2.
Anything else to add?
Yeah, I mean, the slate roofing, the roof is repaired. That's completed. Those repairs are completed. As far as the iron crest, I'll just refer to it as that. When she had that roof repaired, well, I'll preface that, and I think she had already provided this into evidence before the inspection report from when she purchased the property. And the inspector recommended that she replace that roof that's right above the porch. And as she was doing that, the roofer had to remove that iron crest. And because I guess it was so old, it completely crumbled. And so it doesn't exist anymore. There's no way that she can reattach it because it doesn't exist. When I kind of just did a cursory review of the municipal code, the code of ordinances, obviously you guys are way more familiar with this than myself or my client. I didn't find anything specific saying that the iron crest had to be there or had to be replaced or had to be installed, especially if it was a situation where the reason that it was removed was due to the roof having to be replaced. So, I mean, I would respectfully ask that that recommendation be waived, that requirement be waived, that she does not have to replace the iron crest, or in the alternate, to provide her with some guidelines of something that she can do other than an iron crest from 100 years ago that doesn't exist.
Questions, comments from the commission?
So I guess my first comment is it fell apart. That's demolition by neglect, which is her responsibility, and previous owners also. That's up to her to go after whatever she feels their responsibility is. It's a historic element on a historic structure,
Sure.
which is all part of the fabric of German Village. Granted, it fell apart. I think the opinion, I'm going to speak for the commission, is it needs to be recreated and reinstalled.
I mean, I guess my argument would be then there's nothing specific in the code of ordinances that even speaks to an iron crest.
Ornamentation.
But that could be anything. That's
Yeah.
a very broad.
Well, this one is
Term.
ornamentation. It's what its purpose was. It's what architecturally, as an architectural element, that's exactly what it is. Whether it's a window hood, cresting on a roof edge like this, or even cresting on the ridge, whatever it may be. It's ornamentation that was original to the building. We have pictures of it going way back. It needs to be reinstalled and reestablished.
I mean, that I don't know how that's possible because it doesn't exist.
We have pictures of it. There are companies that will recreate it for her.
Okay.
And if you're looking for kind of code or legal documentation. I would point you specifically to CC City Code 3116.11, item 2, stating distinguishing characteristics of property should not be destroyed.
I'm sorry, can you just, I have my laptop here too. I just want to reference it. Well,
Sure. It's
you said point,
CC 3116.11, which is the standards for alteration.
okay,
Item 2,
okay,
distinguishing characteristics of property should not be destroyed.
okay,
The removal, alteration of material or distinctive architectural features should be avoided whenever possible.
mhm,
And then the Durham Village guidelines on ornamentation, which is trim, brackets, hood mold, shutters, light fixtures, et cetera. Item 1 there states important original features such as brackets, hood mold, and other details should be repaired and preserved. Avoid wood, window, blah, 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 windows,
Okay.
but it's the details, it's original,
Mhm.
it's distinguishing characteristic of this structure. Every structure we treat as its own individual entity.
understood.
So that's really what we hang our hat on. And if we allowed things that were falling apart or deteriorating to just be taken off,
Right,
not being repaired, put back, or more care taken when taken down, then this whole village wouldn't even exist.
right. And I'll just say, I mean, this is not a defense, obviously, which is why I'm not raising it as one, but I just wanted on the record that in her defense, again, not using this as a defense, she was unaware that this property was even part of a historic district when she purchased it. Not saying, again, that's her responsibility as a buyer, that's due diligence, she should have done it. But the reason that I'm bringing that up is because she certainly did not intend to, destroy anything. And I think that if she had known that it was something that had to be preserved, then she would have consulted with someone that would have done that prior to, because they have people that do that, obviously, prior to replacing the roof. So I just want that on the record because it's not a situation where she was trying to do anything.
Understood.
Don't think anybody believes that. We think it's out of ignorance.
Yeah, I think that she just didn't know.
Contractor should have said something too, so.
Right, and I'm sure the contractor probably didn't care or didn't.
No, absolutely not.
So, well, let me ask you one additional question then, just so that I can give her some feedback, since she was unable to make it today. I mean, obviously, that's something she's gonna have to do. Does she have to, I mean, is there a procedure that she has to follow in order to, install that?
I would suggest she's gonna have to hire somebody to do a drawing of what the railing seems to be from pictures.
Okay,
Probably get this commission to, confer with that, we agree that it matches,
okay,
and then have somebody fabricate it and install
okay, okay,
And we're not gonna push for any kind of action to be taken against the owner. if
Thank
there's
you.
A good faith effort.
is there a timeline that she has?
There is a code violation on this
Yeah.
for the roof cresting, so the applicant and the homeowner would need to work with the code enforcement officer. Typically, if they're actively working with us or have an approval, there is an extension process for the code violation, so that no legal action is taken.
Right,
But that's, they would work with the code enforcement officer for the extension on the timeline.
okay, and who would the code enforcement officer be?
That's Viola Turner. Her email should be on the
Oh, okay, okay, all right. I think that this is probably gonna take a little bit of time. She does have 3 small kids, that's why I'm here instead of her. Obviously finding someone, contracting with someone, and then, having to get it approved is gonna take more than 30 days or,
HBO staff might be able to help.
sorry,
HBO staff.
okay,
might be
Let
able
her
to help
know.
you with that.
I'll let her know.
And there's a couple of organizations here in town that they can give you, that
Okay.
can assist in what she needs to do.
I will let her know. Thank you so much.
And I'll pass on to you to pass on to the client that she's not the only one that's been in position before.
I'm sure.
Our goal is to have it not happen ahead of time, but
Right,
these kind of things do happen and we take the stance every other time. It's not her specifically.
And you're not the only one on the agenda tonight.
for that reason.
Yes.
We need to take action on this somehow. If we voted as written on the application, I believe this is written to,
Remove the.
Remove it.
Continue it.
we can continue it so
Yeah.
it stays active.
That way, so when you get the stuff information up, whether it's this month or next month, it's still active and doesn't have to go back into the.
Is it possible to continue it for 60 days instead of
We
30?
can do it every month.
I'm sorry?
We can do it, we'd have to do it every month.
Oh, so she'd have to come back next month?
No,
We could vote on better being here.
she can have the conversation with HBO. They can verify that she's making progress.
Okay,
HBO can recommend,
Okay.
ask us to continue for.
I gotcha.
And the other option is just so you have all the options in front of you. We could vote on it, and deny it, which then opens up paths to appeal and potential hardship concerns and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
We can't look at those until it's denied and we take second action.
okay. I mean, I will certainly speak to her about that. If she wants to pursue that, I mean, that's something that can be conveyed, I guess, to the code enforcement officer, if that's what she wants to do. And then you could do that at your next meeting. I'm not going to speak for her, but I'm thinking she probably will not go that route.
Yeah, you want to review with her what hardship means?
Yeah, I know.
Financial, all the
Yeah,
financial.
I don't believe that that's an issue. I think it was, like I said, just something that she didn't know. She didn't feel like it was disclosed to her, so she didn't know about it. Obviously, that doesn't make it legal just because it wasn't disclosed to you, but, so, okay.
Okay,
I appreciate it.
so is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, on item
2308029.
yes, that one, I move to continue.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Ayes have it, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Moving ahead to item number 3, GV-23-09-037, 415 Livingston.
Thank you so much.
Once you're settled, raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
Your name?
David Phillips.
Thank you.
This is an exterior building alteration for a porch rehabilitation. To replace 3 existing front porch columns with round permacast columns to match the existing style. And then to paint the new columns only in Sherwin-Williams Extra White, which is SW7006. Staff analysis, we note the applicant has amended their proposal to only include the replacement of the 3 porch columns and has removed any work behind the skirting or below grade that was previously reviewed. The following is taken from approved from the staff report, 2023 GBC hearing minutes, commissioner comments. The commission requested the applicant take photos from underneath and behind the porch skirting. Applicant or contractor may temporarily remove porch skirting to take photos of the porch below grade, showing the condition of the porch footing. The skirting should be reinstalled before leaving the site. Before the commission can approve the rehabilitation plan, they would like to review photos of the condition of the existing porch structural elements below the porch and porch columns. And the commission requested additional information on how the sonotubes would be installed. At the November business meeting, the commission requested information on how the railings would be attached to the new columns and requested additional material information on the permacast columns. The permacast column is made from a proprietary blend of fiber reinforced polymers and is basically a fiberglass material. The porch railings will be attached via hidden fasteners. The German Village Commission has had permacast and fiberglass columns submitted in the past. The permacast porch columns were proposed for 180 Thurman with GV-21-01-024 to replace the non-original columns, but this application was never heard due to the applicant's absence, so the commission never actually considered the material at a hearing. Staff recommends approval with any author verifications to be submitted to HPO staff for review and approval prior to the issuance of the certificate with the following conditions. And that is the porch columns are actually made of wood and not the fiberglass permacast. Alternatively, if the commission does approve the columns to be the permacast, staff recommends the permacast column be a test case. The basis for the staff recommendation is 301-611, standard for alteration 125-611-12, and German Village guidelines for porches and stoops 1, 5, and 6.
Anything else to add?
I don't think so.
Questions, comments from the commission?
Just, where did we end up on 180 Thurman? We didn't,
So the applicant, it was on one agenda, the applicant was absent, it was continued, and then the applicant did not return or request to be placed on another agenda. So the actual material was never discussed at the hearing, it was just on an agenda.
I believe they ended up looking at it and driving by. I believe it was just repaired as it was, being to be finished.
Okay,
Oh, yes, there was no COA issued or anything.
that's where I was going, okay. But that's the only one we've had we submitted on?
That's the only, basically using, the search function
Yeah.
through all the past minutes from the last 4 years.
Okay.
Urban Cast has never come up.
I don't remember it ever being brought up before either.
I will say, looking at the pictures that were provided, I mean, it's metal joist hangers. It's concrete post with a metal base on top of the concrete.
Yeah.
It's not construction methods that would have been original to this.
I think the porch platform is stable, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's just the columns are now failing.
I just, I think the porch in general, I don't think is original. I think it was a reproduction
yeah,
at some point in
yeah.
time, so.
Yeah. Totally agree with that.
If we're looking at alternative materials, I think that's the venue for potential approval of a alternative materials that is not an original porch. My concern would be if we have new columns out front, and you had original quote unquote columns back by the house, is there a mismatch in the detail? Is that acceptable?
We have columns, pilasters, don't we?
And with it being a non-original porch, is that an issue for us to worry about or not?
Well, the construction may not be what would have been built at the time of the house, but the materials are.
The applicant, is there,
Normal.
Yeah.
I intend to do the railings if you're gonna be doing a non-wooden post.
Well, we were gonna do them exactly the same with the same fasteners that are there now.
Which is why.
Well, there's a hole in the post where the railing goes, and there's just like a metal fastener that you can't see inside there. It
Do you
just
think you
kind
can do that on these posts?
of goes together, yeah.
That was my concern question was on. I don't have knowledge to know that that's doable on these.
I mean, to me, if it is approved, if we approve the material, applicant goes install it and finds out they put the columns up and they cannot attach the post or the railings to the columns as intended, I don't foresee us allowing that post to stay in place and be taken down and replaced with wood in order to get the detail right. So I think it's a risk that the applicant would have if we approve it.
I agree. And are new rails required?
From our perspective, no,
You can reuse the ones that are
Yes.
there. Okay.
for sure.
Did you speak with code about that?
The builder did.
I feel like the details are similar to what's there. Top van. The bases are, they're covered over,
They're made up, yeah.
ground base back there. The detail. The base is gonna be what's mismatching, but
Should the replacement of the pilasters be part of this, then to match? It's only two. Three.
it's all three across the front.
Yes,
Three pilasters or?
3 columns.
Because there's only two pilasters, one each building.
Personally, I'm inclined based upon perceived age, non-originalness of this. I'm inclined to approve, but that's me.
I'm looking at it from a class has installation sheet, it just says if you're going to have fastened railings to it, the holes must be pre-drilled.
The whole slide, the right. All right, documentation shows that we could do it. Other comments or thoughts, or is one put to vote?
Again, my question goes back to the pilasters. Do these columns exactly match the pilasters, which they should? And if not, and we're gonna prove them, should the pilasters be replaced in kind? Applicant,
Yes, sir.
your thoughts?
We'll replace it if it's necessary. Absolutely. No question, but we are trying to do it, like for like. I mean, we don't want to change it.
Yeah, but I. Do those permacast columns match the existing pilasters or the existing?
Yes, they do.
Okay,
That was checked.
okay. All right.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, on item GB 2309-037, 415 Livingston Avenue, I move to approve as submitted.
Second,
Any questions on the motion?
Will this be a test case or just an approval? Or the permit has from 0 to?
I'm okay on approval based upon
Me too.
conditions of the.
I don't want to do any more test cases.
Understood.
Clarifications that they're not original porch columns. All right, you guys second, any questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? I said motion passes.
Thank you.
If you do come across any construction hiccups, better off coming back.
Absolutely. Would be. Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, moving ahead to item number 4, GB 23-10-019, 640 Mohawk Street. Very accused myself. Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and the truth.
Yes,
Your name is?
Chris,
Thank you.
This is an exterior building alteration to replace the slate roof of asphalt shingle. To remove the existing ribbon slate on the roof and to install GAF slate line shingles and English gray slate on the roof. Noting the true slate on the dormer walls is to remain. The staff analysis is at the October business meeting. The commission requested clarification on what slate was included in the slate walls. They requested a second slate assessment and requested staff had previously issued relevant COA materials package. Staff did add the previously issued COA from 2018 for the addition, and photos from that submission show the slate on the dormers was existing prior to the construction of the addition. At the November business meeting, the commission had no request for additional information beyond the second slate assessment requested at the October 2023 GBC hearing, and a second slate assessment was provided and is included in the materials package. The following is taken from the now approved October 2023 GBC hearing minutes. Commissioner comments. The commission clarified that a second slate assessment would be required for the commission to support slate removal. The second slate assessment should come from a second contractor who specializes in slate roofs that is not being paid for the slate work. And the commission confirmed that slate repair would be a staff approval item. Staff recommendation that staff recommends approval of any all clarifications to be submitted to HPS staff for review and approval prior to the issuance of a certificate. The basis for that recommendation is 301-611 standards for alteration, 6, 5, and 11, and the German Village Guidelines and the 2005 amendments for slate roof replacement on page 175.
Anything else to add?
no, sir.
Any questions or comments from the commission?
Think so, no.
Well, my questions for you, will there be any gutter rework or any of that kind of work?
No,
What's it, what-
well, yes, there, yeah, we'll have to rehang them, slate hang, or they have the roof hangers, strap hangers, sorry. So yes, that'll get reworked in the deal, but they won't be getting replaced. If we have to replace any of the hangers, if they're rusted or whatnot, then we'll do that obviously and paint them to match the gutters. But otherwise, no, I don't intend on replacing any of the gutters at this time.
Okay. All right, it does have the two assessments as we require. Any questions?
I guess I do have one question. It doesn't necessarily pertain to this one, but in the past, I've usually only had one slate assessment, and it was always usually Jamie. Just for future reference, that way I don't do that again. Just make sure I always have two at this point in time. Okay.
Yeah, we would say if you got the one, it would have been a deviation from the norm. We typically always ask for two
Okay.
unless it's really obvious that.
Just want to make sure for future reference. So.
All right, there's no questions. Is there a motion?
On application GB 23 10 019 640 Mohawk Street, I propose that we approve the application as submitted with the clarification that the gutters will be reinstalled.
Second.
Any question on the motion? All those in favor? Aye. Against? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. All right, we're going to head to item number 5, GB 23 10 020 217 219 East Whittier. Once you're all settled, you raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes,
Your name?
Kelly, weird.
This is an exterior building alteration for work to remove and gutters. To remove and replace the existing box gutters and stop gutters, and to paint all elements in a custom color match in brown. And also to replace all existing roof, including some slate roof sections, with the GAF Royal Savern in nickel gray, and to install the Tenors Red ridge roll. The following is taken from the now approved October 2023 GBC hearing minutes. Commissioner comments. The applicant clarified at the hearing that slate was on the front. There was a 3-tab shingle on the right elevation. The rear had a dimensional shingle and the left was a slate line shingle. The front porch is a 3-tab shingle. Also yellow on the drawing indicates stop gutters and green indicates box gutters. The commission concluded that non-slate roof sections are good to be replaced with staff approval, but the slate on the roof and dormer roofs would need to be reviewed by the commission. For the commission to make a determination of the slate, 2 slate roof assessments should be provided from 2 contractors who specialize in slate roofs that are different than the one to complete the work. And the commission confirmed that slate repair would be a staff approvable item. At the November business meeting, the commission had no request for additional information beyond the 2 slate assessments requested at the October 2023 GBC hearing. No slate assessments have been provided. Staff recommendation that staff recommends that the commission offers feedback and each of the application to allow the applicant time to provide the 2 slate assessments for the slate replacement. The basis for the staff recommendation is through 1611 standards for alteration are 5, 6, and 11, and the German Village guidelines from the 2005 amendments for slate roof replacement on page 75.
Anything else to add?
That was the biggest challenge I think I've ever had, trying to get people to come out and take a look at that small little job on the front. I called 5 slate companies and only one actually called me back. He indicated that he wouldn't write me a letter. He says it wasn't worth his time. So I'm leaning on you guys. What do I do next? Because, I mean, that slate is such a small section of the roof. And it looks like, I'm not sure, but it looks like they bootlegged everything else in there because of all the different types of colors and types of product that was used, because I know for a fact that you guys don't allow dimensional shingles.
Questions, Council Commission?
I just want this job to look right. I'm stuck.
I get the issue with nobody coming out to look at it, but I'm not willing to give up our requirement. We can't give up our requirement for 2 independent reviews of the slate.
Sir, I understand it.
Hold on, just a minute, okay, so I think maybe one way, I get it, is to deny this. You come back make it on an appeal, that you can't get the 2 slate things. That keeps us where we need to be
Okay.
and gets you where you need to be. That sound sensible?
I think that's sensible. And so taking that aside,
Okay.
what's proposed, do we feel that that would be approvable as submitted if we approve the appeal? Are there any feedback?
So if I go with, yeah, the slate's bad, and you get two people, I'd say, yeah, the works is appropriate. I just want our policy of having two people say, hey, the slate sucks, it needs to go. Not willing to give that up, except on appeal.
Does anybody else have any issue with what's in the application if it is approved upon appeal?
No, it's good.
Under the appeal process, is that like in your next meeting, or is that just a date that's set down the road, or?
That's where I'm trying to get to next.
I'm sorry.
Are we able to hear appeal at the same meeting, or does it need to be separate due to public notice?
It has to be separate because the denial has to be issued.
Yeah.
The actual certificate of denial has to be issued.
Yeah.
If we deny it, can they get on the next agenda for the appeal? I'm trying to get you done as fast as we can.
I understand. And Mother Nature's working against us right now because with doing stop gutters, I can build in my shop. And I can paint them, I can do all that stuff in my shop. Box gutter is a whole different animal.
The deadline for all applications, regardless of if they're heard of this hearing or not, is November 9th.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that timeline is different based on appeals. So I don't know if the appeal, they can be placed on an agenda before that, or that it comes in after that deadline. The certificate of denial would probably not be issued most likely until Tuesday or Wednesday of next week at the earliest, so.
Okay. Can we get them on the agenda pending the denial?
How much of this is slate? Where's it at?
The slate is, yeah, sorry, you can answer.
Just the pie in front, I mean, everything. It's just, this piece right here in purple is all I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Piece in purple.
Okay. So what if we approve the rest of the roof and not that?
Because I have the stop gutters go all the way around and they have to join. That's the whole problem right here. I mean, if it didn't have the stop gutters on there, heck, I would agree with you guys and I'd be down the road and we'd be shingling that thing or it would have already been done.
Could we approve that front little porch? That's separate as a
Right.
did.
He wants to go out there and do it all at once.
I know, but at least getting that front porch done.
I wouldn't, I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't do that. I'd probably do it all at once. I thank you for that, but I probably wouldn't because the same crew
Yeah.
that's gonna install those stop gutters are gonna be the same ones that are gonna do the box gutters. So they would have my head.
I've been working with HBO, trying to get through on appeal as fast as possible. So
I appreciate
the
that.
best we can do.
I do have one question, clarification. So on the pictures, go. Page me on here. Yeah, so go to the
The dormer on top of
third
the,
one, yes, that dormer,
I'm not touching it.
the slate on top. of
I'm
it.
leaving that alone. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't have to get into that whatsoever.
Just one click.
I want to keep something there, but I can't. The slate in that front section is just,
So I think you heard from the commission that we seem to be okay with, once we hear an appeal, we're gonna approve it, but it's procedural. We can't
Understand.
break procedure. So whatever staff can do to expedite, I recommend, but I can't tell them how to do what they gotta do.
I understand completely.
With that, is there a motion on the application as,
Mr. Chairman, on item GB 23-10-020, 217, 219 East Whittier Street, I move to approve as submitted, which is typical how we do this.
Okay.
we have to vote on the affirmative. We deny, which gives the denial, which then opens up the appeal. Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor? All those against? Aye. Against has it, motion denied. Work with staff, try to get you
We do need reasons for denial.
reasons for denial. It's item 5.
Inaccurate, Incomplete documentation.
So with that being said, I will, when we resubmit, if we have to resubmit, we'll document that we'll leave that dormer as is and not mess with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then I can actually exclude that out of the warranty that we're gonna give them as well.
I think if you just turn this thing right around, I'll get you your denial criteria.
Thank you.
I think if you just get this application, just turn it right around, submit it right away with the added information of the lack of being able to get someone to look at it, to get, it could get 2 letters.
You're appealing the action tonight based on the fact that you can't. Yeah.
I'll have her start it tomorrow.
So reason for denial, 316.11 city code. I'm going to go with the item 6, deteriorated architectural features shall be repaired or replaced if possible. Item 5, that's out of order. Distinctive stylistic features, examples of craftsmanship that characterize a property shall be treated with sensitivity. 11, exterior cladding of structure should be consistent with your original materials used in the property. And then under the Durham Village Guidelines, 2005 amendments, slate roof replacement. Bullet points stating applicants to work with City Historic Preservation Office to determine the level of documentation necessary for consideration for slate removal. Second bullet point about the written slate roof assessments. That's enough for this one.
And I'll just have my girl call in and talk to you guys, or send in an email, or how do you want that done?
Yeah, so we'll issue the certificate of denial. The minutes are prepared and then 3 to 5 business days after, or minutes take 3 to 5 business days. And then after that, we issue the letters and COAs, including certificates of denial. So you'll receive that both via email and by certified mail. Upon receipt, you'll have 10 days, but as soon as possible is.
I'm prepared tomorrow.
And you'll want to prepare documentary evidence showing the attempt to obtain the slate assessments.
All right, thank
So,
you.
so who you reached out to, who didn't.
I will do that.
Great.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 6, GB-23-10-021, 582 South 6th Street. Once you're both settled, raise your right hands. One each. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and the truth.
Yes.
Do. All right, your name?
Tom Eastwood.
Thank you.
David Marshall.
Cool.
This is an application for demolition of new construction and landscaping. The demolition of new construction is for a new addition, front porch, and for windows. To construct a new 2-story addition, all trim and siding are to be painted wood. The GF slate line shingle and English gray slate will be used. The trim is to be painted hazy sky, which is OC 48. The siding is to be painted Wedgwood gray, which is HC 146. And all doors are painted hawthorn yellow, which is HC 4. To install a new front porch with a metal roof, wood tongue and groove porch floor, and all trim and siding to be painted wood with the same paint colors. Just named. Also, the application is to replace non-original windows and to replace with the Pella Reserve double-hung wood-clad windows. The landscaping is to remove a large Siberian elm from the rear yard and to plant a new shade tree in a similar location. The staff analysis of the applicant approached HPO staff requesting information on the history of the structure and historic front porch. Staff provided Sanborn maps and the COA from 1972, showing the removal of a front porch and conversion of a front door to a window. These materials are included in the materials package. The application was reviewed conceptually at the September 2023 GBC hearing and is a new application at the October 2023 GBC hearing. The following is taken from the now approved October 2023 GBC hearing minutes. Commissioner comments. The door and window trim on the new addition should be simpler than the existing windows there. The commission would not support any new openings in the historic addition, so the door on the first floor rear addition should not be relocated. The band board should be moved down to the lowest point of the existing roof on the first floor rear addition. And the commissioners discussed the siding choice for the new addition. Some commissioners confirmed the board and batten would be appropriate. However, the applicant should verify and document the material under the board and batten on the historic addition. The commission commented that the second floor rear addition is from the 1990s, and the new addition could have the same ridge line as the 1990s addition. If the existing second floor rear addition is from the 90s, the two central windows can either stay as they are with the decorative trim or receive the new simplified trim. If the windows on the 1990s addition have a change in size, the decorative trim would need to be removed. The commission confirmed that to receive approval for tree removal, the applicant would need to select a replacement tree and provide a site plan indicating the current tree's location and the proposed location for the new tree, noting the caliper for the new tree. Following the October hearing, HPO staff sent the COA for the second floor addition from the 1990s to the applicant, and the applicant has amended their design. The window trim on the second floor from the 1990s addition has been removed, and the new second floor addition roof line is the same height as the 1990s roof line. HPO staff have added the 1972 COA for porch removal and the 1990s COA for the second floor addition to the materials package. At the November business meeting, the commission recommended the applicant remove the cross hatching from the trim board on the north elevation and add a dimension line to the proposed drawing of the south elevation, as it is on the as-built south elevation drawing. The applicant did update those drawings. After the updated drawings were received, HPO did inform the applicant over an issue with reinstalling the window bars after they were removed for window installation. Once the bars are removed from the new window installation, HPO staff would not support the bars being reinstalled, so that is a topic of conversation for the commission. Staff recommendation is that the staff recommends approval for the all clarifications be submitted to HPO staff for review and approval prior to the issuance of certificate with the following conditions, and that only condition being that the window bars are not reinstalled once they are removed for the new window installation. The basis for the staff recommendation is 31611, standards for alteration. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12. 31612, standards for new construction, A, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, K, L, M, and N. And 311613, standard for site improvements A, as well as the Durham Village guidelines for alterations to existing structures, additions 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. And that's it.
Anything else to add? Full alphabet there. Questions, comments from the commission?
Yeah, so it looks like from last month, you guys opted to incorporate the first edition.
Yeah, that was how I originally had it.
Yeah.
And then they asked me not to do it. And then when we realized that was an addition, you said I was able to do it.
Yeah,
So I
so
went
you
back.
made it all look like one edition.
Yeah.
So couple comments on that, because I'm having a hard time with it. If you could go to the north elevation of the new.
That's not it. It's all.
Page 4.
Right there. So I get where the band board is going on the board and back on this side. And I understand where it's coming across in the back. But then I lose it when I'm on the south side.
Can you go to the south side?
It's dark.
Black hole.
Oh, I don't know why it's dark there. It's been sent to you.
Yeah.
It's
on there.
It was just, I could have swore we just saw it. I can bring it up to you if you like, because I have copies here.
Oh, it's definitely a technical matter, not a submission from the applicant.
We've all got.
We've all got.
Okay.
That's the point, the band board in the rear appears to be higher than the band board on the sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's where the double door is, that's recessed.
Yeah, that part sits back 1.5 feet. And so that one that's lower is what you're seeing. That's above the door. And then the new one is sticking out. So it's harder to see because it's flat. If it was, it's not.
Okay.
But it doesn't continue on the right side.
No, because that's new.
Bump out.
So we have this height here,
Yep, that's set back.
then pops up to here.
Yep, and comes across.
Go to the rear. So up here. And then look,
Yeah.
drop back down. So there's no connection, so it's here and then here on the side. I don't think this height's the same as that.
Yeah, because that one's low, like you wanted it at the 8 foot.
So I think
The other
that's
wall.
the detail that gets weird is how does this corner relate to that corner?
It needs to go.
Because this piece would be down,
All the way
and the other side, this little strip would be popped up.
Yeah,
It's the detail.
like this.
And that other side is the street the
Mhm.
side street facing, so it's gonna be super visible on that back corner. Is that what you're getting at?
Yep, exactly. The band board needs to be the same.
Continuous
elevation
all the way around.
Till you get to the recess.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
So, and then one other one. Is you still got the corner board from the original edition right here. You need to get rid of
That's a gutter going down right now.
that.
Yeah.
All right, well, there's no corner board, then we're good.
There's not supposed to be. Put it that way.
Yes, I just. So there was a corner board. Because there was one there before.
Yeah, right now, there's an existing gutter there.
Okay. Yeah, well, that makes sense, okay, but it's the band board that's got me. Doesn't seem right.
So that little. So that piece. So now do your,
It'd be dropping that one that's right above the door in between the windows.
that piece is down because that's to your comment. with-
Correct.
Yeah, that was the concept at the time.
I personally think it would look better up flush with
And
that.
I would rather, I think that's more important,
What's that?
that it's all up,
That it goes up now?
yeah.
On this side alone,
No, all the way around.
look at this side too,
Yeah, it needs to insist on.
Well,
he's going back to what,
yeah.
you don't know it till we see the details, that's why.
Yeah,
I personally think it'll look better up across.
Yeah.
Like this.
and I think this, the concept for the other side was correct,
Mhm.
but it doesn't work on the other two sides. I think that's
Right.
more important.
Okay.
So we want everything up all the way around.
Yeah.
I'll still have a trim board above that door like that, so that will still somewhat be like that, because I'll have a trim board going up, because that's, cantilevered over.
Yeah,
But it'll only be on the.
Only right there above that door,
yeah,
correct.
in that recessed part, right?
And then so where it is now on that part there, we'll continue in the back like it is. And then we'll raise the side that you guys have asked me to lower, and we'll just take it up and
Yeah.
hide it. I think that'll look better.
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
It's that.
All right, you got that. Okay.
Anything on the front porch? Did we identify, did we find historic evidence that there was a porch there?
It's on the Sanborn maps as an existing porch. And there is the COA from 1972 for removing a front porch and converting the window to a door. Or the door to a window in that case. So the conversion is now, there is a post conversion from the window that used to be a door to be back to the door now.
Did you do any selective demolition to try to find any outline of what the original porch had?
No. But on the inside, that window, when you look straight down, the baseboard is exactly in line with it, so you can tell that it was just pieced in. So there was 100%, there was a door there.
So when it comes to the porch design, there's a shadow line or something showing where the porch was. We're using the old porch as a reason to go back to a new porch. My concern is that the new porch should follow the form of the old porch.
I agree.
Is it-
And I took some pictures of right across the street of two porches that look, and when you draw this up, it has to be one of those hip roofs to make it fit underneath those windows, because those windows are existing, so I have to be underneath those.
Gotcha.
We have a photo, don't we?
There's the.
That's a really old one.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell on that old photo that was given to me, if you can.
It's like all the way here.
Yeah, right there, right there. That's the photo of the house. And so to me, that looks like a hip.
Yeah, no, right.
So I drew it accordingly, to the best of my knowledge.
So we have some idea what the original one looks like.
And that's why we did the solid railing too, because of that.
Got it. Yep. I think we've got some tree issue left around.
Yep.
A site plan has been provided showing the new location.
Are any other questions or concerns?
Is the porch wide enough?
What was the question?
I was wondering if the porch you've drawn is wide enough compared to the photo.
You have to go back to the photo. I inset it. I mean, it should be inset.
Mm-hmm.
Stop right there. Up.
Look at the picture. It looks like the porch footprint is the entire width
Up one more.
and the pilasters set back just slightly,
Just a slight bit, yeah.
whereas your elevation.
Do I have that back too much?
That's where I think when you pull the siding off that facade, you might find the attachment points of the
Yeah.
original roof, the original pilasters that might still exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right, though. I think the porch is too narrow.
Yeah, it's hard to tell if that roof goes past it or not.
It looks like the eave hangs out past the corner,
Okay, we can adjust that.
which was normal.
Yeah.
And are we asking them to restore the porch with the single plane railing or the panel railing instead?
I think we're gonna go with what the black and white photograph was.
Which is the solid panel, which is what I have drawn.
Oh, you're thinking the wrong porch.
Yeah, there was a couple porches that were just examples up there that were across the street because you guys had asked for some pictures of roofs.
Okay, so it's the left building.
That, correct. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, there's two.
I think if you pull that porch back out, then I definitely recommend you do this demolition, that siding, see what's there. Find that what's
Yeah.
there is different than what you submitted.
Just.
Recommend coming back and doing what was there. for sure.
Okay.
What's the siding now?
Siding now is vinyl.
Okay.
And then once I'm in contract, we're gonna pull all that off and find out.
You'll see it.
Yeah, and we can do a staff approval if it's 50% bad on the siding. Is that what I?
You go back wood for wood, like.
Yeah, we're going back wood for wood, and it's gonna be littered with nail holes and like just that, I've got that little picture. We wanna paint it, look it nice. It's gonna, if I can do it, make it look good, but I have a feeling we're gonna have to replace all that siding.
Like wood for wood, staff can approve.
Okay,
We'll just need the documented evidence of the condition of the existing
so
siding.
will you come back out? You want me to take pictures?
Pictures typically work for that, it kind of depends. We can issue a COA for temporary removal of the siding, just so you don't get a violation for that. While you're doing the work, like, we'll issue a COA that just says temporarily remove vinyl siding to document condition.
I put vinyl back on.
Well, it just the,
I think for our,
but that's all stuff, so we can handle that.
for this application, if you just put in the restore the wood that's there. we
And
can
if it's
approve that.
bad,
And if it's different than what you find
we'll come
out,
back.
then you come back to staff
Yeah.
and go, whatever you have.
What about, we're on an alley right there. When we go work, we're gonna block the alley. Is that something I run through you guys or do I talk to the building department? Because I mean, we're literally gonna have to take up, while we're working, take up that whole
That's a
alley.
permit you gotta get from the city.
Okay,
It's not the building department either.
okay.
I think it's traffic engineering.
There's tree closure permits. and stuff.
All right. It's gonna need it there.
Yeah. Cause I didn't have to.
Yeah.
The contract is-
Somebody else got
Okay. Is there anything else in the application? Do you have any questions on? Staff, we good with everything so far?
Just if the applicant still intends to reinstall the metal bars during the window removal process.
I did not talk to the homeowners about that, so I'll need to do that. If they're left on, because we're leaving most of the trim unless it's rotten. Cause that is where they're attached is the original wood. And I don't have to pull that off to do a replacement window. So there's a possibility those won't come off. And I don't know if they want them on or not, so I need to ask them.
If they're never removed, it's actually, there's not in the, you can't make them take them off, so it's only if they're going to be removed for the
right.
permits, just to clarify.
So if the homeowner wants them on there, I'm not to touch them,
So I would,
paint around them.
so I would say the application should be to have them remain. If they
Okay.
gotta come off, then.
I have to come back if I want to take them off?
We don't,
If they-
we don't want.
You don't want them.
Permission.
So if I end up taking them off, it's okay. But I'm gonna say right now, I'm gonna leave them because I need to
Okay.
get with the homeowners on
You
that.
don't touch them, it's fine.
Oh, put it this way, if you, the catch-22, because if you came to us and said you want to take them off, I don't think we'd be opposed to it because it's not historic, it's a faux, whatever.
Sure.
But it's it's to take them off. So you need a COF. It's the weird catch-22.
Okay,
You shouldn't be doing stuff to get to the property without the proper approval,
okay,
but we're not. They come off and it comes to us, if they got to take them off, we're gonna approve it. So that's kind of where we're at. So you're gonna probably have to go through the approval process to get them to
Alright.
come off permanently. Just know that they, typically, if you take them down, put them up, and it's the same trim. It's like taking them down, painting them, and putting it back up. It's just replacing maintenance.
okay.
So if you gotta take them off, put windows in and put them back up, we're fine.
So if they want to keep them, I can.
Yeah.
All right.
But removal would be a staff approvable item, so it would be a CO application of info.
Removal to leave off.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Throw them away.
So your application is gonna be to keep them,
Okay,
and if you have to take them off, put it back up as part of maintenance of those pieces,
yeah,
it's fine. But if you wanna remove them permanently, go to staff.
okay,
And we can get that done quick,
okay.
okay? Windows, are we past the windows from the last meeting? Did we determine that the pillars are double hung, wood clad, are, windowless, window? Cool. I think we are good. Anything else, Ned?
I'm trying to figure out how to do this motion, because the fan board thing we can do. And staff will just verify that you do it right. The porch issue comes down to, we're kind of not approving the porch you've shown.
Say it again?
We're kind of not approving the porch you're showing,
Okay,
This needs to be wider.
because it definitely needs to be wider.
okay.
I don't think that can be staff approval.
Would the commission like to consider a subcommittee for the porch?
Speaking of that, what happened to the other subcommittees?
I've emailed about two of them. One has never gotten back to me yet.
Okay. I have no problem with that, if the other commissioners are on board with that.
I'll be on that committee if necessary.
I definitely would suggest churro.
Yes.
Somebody else?
So would that be something that we would do after I pulled the vinyl siding off to find out?
Yes.
So basically I move forward from here with the adjustments on the front porch.
Knowing that
We're gonna do something.
you're gonna do something that's gonna be in line with your investigation.
Yep,
Definitely know the porch needs to be wider. And what you determine based on that, what you find and what you don't find, we don't needs to be wider. The subcommittee of the commission will approve or just approve what you propose.
based upon what's underneath, what we find underneath. Okay,
It definitely needs to be wider. We know that.
well, but I'll need to know for building permit reasons, I'm gonna have to have something on there. So how do we address that? You want me to just make it wider? Because when I submit this for building permits, I gotta have my footers, everything that's gotta be drawn.
It's gotta be wider.
So I'll just go ahead and draw it wider.
Yep.
And then we can do the staff approval once we know what's underneath the vinyl siding. Does that make sense? Does that work?
Yeah, that'll be the details. So as long as take the setback of the posts from the porch base,
Mm-hmm.
hold that, and then pull the porch base out
Yep.
to the sidewalls, and that should just stretch it,
Yep.
good to go. And then we'll do a committee to do the final placement.
So but you guys have to give me an approval letter to get my
Building permit.
building permit. That's where I'm going with this.
And that's gonna be on the motion.
Okay. Gotcha.
So let's give it a shot.
Approving the concept of the porch
Per Making it wider.
making it wider, giving you the structural information you need.
Yep.
And the final details will be what we look at as a committee.
So if I was to tomorrow or the next day, get this redrawn, emailed in, is that, and then you guys approve it, subcommittee?
You make this hard on me. But typically, we would do a selective demolition,
Okay,
pull off the siding, see what's there. We nail it all down, then we get the approval.
sure.
The second option we have here is to split the porch into its own application. You get your building permit and everything, the rest of the property, do everything else you need to do. Get the demolition of the exterior siding to find out what's under it, and then we come back and approve the porch.
Okay.
To me, that's the more clean option from our standpoint.
So let's suggest something. Why don't we make a motion that addresses the van board issue? And we make a motion that the porch is as wide as the front of the house. That the side railings of the porch and the deck of the porch lines up with the edge of the house.
Mm-hmm.
The eave will go out over.
Yep, yep.
Approve that as a modification to your submission with the condition that if you find from your research it's other, you need to come back.
Okay,
And that way we don't have to do anything.
I think that's fair.
sounds good.
Trying to get everybody going.
Would those changes to the porch be for subcommittee or for staff review?
For staff, just, we're gonna describe it verbally.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try.
I fully understand what you're saying, so we can draw it.
Okay, so on item GB 231021, 582 South 6th Street. Does anybody else have any other comments before I do this?
No.
I move to approve as submitted and amended by the applicant that the band board on the north, east, and south side will align with the band board at the top of the south elevation original thing. So go down one. Yep, so it lines up at the
Above the window.
that one right there.
Yep.
Lines up from that, and that the porch will be as wide as the front of the house. The porch deck will be as wide as the house with everything else appropriately set back, and the anticipation that the eave will hang out over.
Yes.
All the other detailing looks good. If you find otherwise, because I think your hip roof's gonna be higher too. If you find out otherwise, you are to come back to HBO and say you found otherwise, you want to make a modification to your application.
Okay.
Second.
Well, make sure we got everything in there, okay.
I think we got it right.
Okay, we're good. All right. We got a second. Any questions on the motion?
Oh, security bars to stay.
Security bars to stay. You have any questions on the motion?
No, I think we're good.
Nicole, do you have any questions on the motion?
Just confirmation, this is all staff review for the new drawings.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
yeah, you get the idea.
Yes, I do understand.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Against? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Okay. Thank you.
You. Let's move ahead to item number 7, GB-23-11-026, 180 Lansing. Applicant for 180 Lansing Street. Alex Kunis. All right. Yeah, and someone would like to come back to that. Moving ahead to item number 8, DV-23-11-027, 628 South 6th Street. Hardest street to say.
Try teaching a 7-year-old to say it.
Please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
Your name?
Scott Oman.
Thank you.
This is an application for an exterior building alteration and for landscaping. The exterior building alteration is for a window and door replacement. To remove an existing patio door and replace the Marvin Ultimate Casement window in black. And then to remove the existing window and 9 feet of wall space and replace the window and the new opening with the Marvin Ultimate 12-foot by 8-foot outward swinging black full light French door system with side lights. To install a 3-piece limestone header to match the existing headers. And noting the fence obscures the view of the door to the street and the home was constructed in 1997. For landscaping and hardscaping in the front yard, the existing dogwood tree is to remain. To plant an apricot tree, spring bulbs, bee balm, boxwood topiary, seasonal plantings per submitted site plan. And to construct a stone retaining wall on South Sixth Street. And a 6-inch stone edge along Lear Street, and then add stone to the existing concrete steps. For the rear and side yards, to replace the existing brick patio, blue stone paver patio. To install a new stone stoop for the new entry door as proposed above. To install a concrete stepper and a 6x6 hammock post. To install an 18-inch seat wall. To install a 48-inch cedar screening trellis and raised cedar planters. Installing a portable fire pit and water feature. To plant new plantings as listed on the site plan. Relocate the rhododendron and hydrangea per submitted site plan. And the existing dogwood tree in the rear yard is to remain. The staff analysis, the application for the window and door replacement was reviewed conceptually at the May 2023 GBC hearing. The following is taken from the approved May 2023 GBC hearing minutes. The commissioner comments are commissioners indicated that because it was a this says 1996 edition, but it's 1997 construction. There would not be issues with creating a new opening in the rear. Typically, the commission would not allow openings and reopenings to be widened. Commissioners confirmed the property was property E on the last page of the application materials, which were the 1997 approval. Commissioner provided that for the size of the masonry opening, a steel beam would be needed, and this beam could be painted but left exposed. Commissioners suggested 2 doors. Commissioners commented that the windows, as suggested by the applicant, be more structurally sound than the large door opening, and that 2 double doors or some windows might be a better option. The commission asked to see a sketch of what was proposed, and the step would not be widened if windows were the selected option. The commission suggested for windows, the applicant might consider adding 2 windows that match the first floor window. With this new application, the applicant has made changes to the previous review design. Those changes include that the left window is now being converted into the 4-panel door. And the right window is being converted from a double hung to a casement window that is about half the size of the existing window. This is a change from the left window staying as is and the right being converted to this is 4-panel door. I think it's not a 4-panel door, so I apologize or it is, it's 4 panels of glass, sorry. As previously reviewed. And no landscaping or hardscaping was reviewed conceptually. At the November business meeting, the commission requested clarification on the hood mentioned on the west elevation drawing on page L100. The applicant clarifies that no work to the front of the house beyond landscaping is proposed at this time. So the hood has been crossed out by staff on the application materials. Staff have added the conceptual review information and more material from the 1997 approval. The staff recommendation is that staff recommends to continue the application to allow the time for the applicant to amend their design to create fewer changes to the existing openings. However, if the commission approves the design, staff will request the commission provide reasons for approval. The basis for the staff recommendation is 31611, standards for alteration 135910, 311613, standards for site improvements A, German Village guidelines for doors from the 2005 amendments stating that door openings should not be filled in or altered, and the German Village guidelines for Windows 6.
All right, anything else to add?
Yes, nothing in the front yard we're not asking for any permission on anything on the front yard. That work was going to be done with a COA from a few years ago. Sorry for the confusion on that.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so on this plan, it's just everything in that
Just
top
the
right
back.
corner.
Yeah, just the backyard.
Gotcha.
Yes.
I think the first topic is the openings. Questions, comments from the commission? Taking silence is in no problem with the openings. I think the reasoning still stands from last review. On that it's a 1997 construction, not a historic. And it's rear facing.
Are the light fixtures existing?
I'm sorry?
The light fixture is shown existing.
The light fixtures are not currently existing aside from the one on the far right.
Okay, so
There is one right beside what is currently the door.
you're just gonna match.
Yeah. And they're using the brick, I don't know if this was mentioned in there, they're using the brick veneer that they're taking out to make the large opening to infill where the window gets smaller.
Are they toothing that in?
Yes.
Yeah, they have it right.
I would say even more important that the modification is because granted, it's a newer thing. But we had this issue in the business meeting about whether do we consider it a complex of buildings? Which came up because of the hood. But I think more importantly is because it's outside.
If you have a site piece, drops out all the other reasons.
That's one thing, yeah.
New occurrence. Any issues with the landscaping as shown?
Good motion.
Only one question, your setting bed for your bluestone patio. Is that gonna be on gravel sand base? What do you plan on doing?
Yeah, and I think the landscape architect put a note in about that. The notes to that should be on the far right, I'm sorry, on the far left of that drawing.
Reading the note 6, which looks like a patio note. Running bond thermal bluestone patio head gravel to existing pool deck. Will be on.
Are you making sure that it's permeable and we're not doing concrete?
Yeah.
It'll be permeable, yeah.
Just knowing how much paving area.
Yeah.
And basically water back there.
Right.
No, Mr. Chairman, on item 08 GV 2311 027 628 South Sixth Street, I move to approve as submitted.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Ayes have it, motion passes. Thank you much.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, for clarity, that second was made by, thank you.
Item number 9, I'm going to repeat myself. Got my good rest of the years. So, it's your deal.
Great. Good evening.
How's it going? Yeah, how's it going?
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
State your name, please.
Grant Golden.
Thank you, sir.
This is a request for action for an exterior building alteration and landscaping. It is a long agenda item, so please bear with me if I take pauses. For the exterior building alterations to the house and addition, this application is the result of a code violation. That code violation number is 23444000066, and all of the work has been completed. The windows are to replace 13 windows, which are all the windows, with the Trimline EC300 cloud wood double hung windows in prefabricated black. All of the windows are 2/2. The door on the south, which is the front elevation, is to remove the French door and transom window and install a new masonite wood exterior full light French door and transom unit. Noting the previous French door had no divisions in the door and 5 window panes in the transom window. And the new door is a six glass panel French doors and a single panel transom window. There is also the door on the, that should say rear. The rear elevation, which is also to remove a French door and transom window and to install the new masonite wood exterior full light French door and transom unit, noting the same details. There's the door on the east elevation, which is the brick portion in the front, to remove a 6-panel wood door and install a new half-light door. The half-light door has 4 panes of glass in the top section, and the door material is unknown to staff. The light fixture on the east elevation, which is the front, is to remove the existing light fixture and to install a new large light fixture. The light fixture is the Savoy House Harrison 3-light metal outdoor wall lantern in matte black, measuring 10 inches by 18 inches. There's also a light fixture in the south elevation, and that's to install a new light fixture on the frame addition facing the French doors, with that light fixture being the same as previously mentioned. There's also a light fixture on the north elevation. There are 2 light fixtures on the rear, one on the structure and one on the frame portion of the structure facing the rear French door. And those appear to be the same, but that is not confirmed by the applicant. Remove all siding from the addition and gable and replace that siding with wood and paint that Sherwin-Williams Bow Green, which is SW0065. To paint the gutters, downspouts, and trim, Sherwin-Williams Tricorn Black, which is SW6258. And then on the exterior building alterations to the garage, to remove the existing and install new garage doors. The doors are steel, and to paint the garage doors, Sherwin-Williams Tricorn Black, which is SW6258. Painting the garage siding, Sherwin-Williams Bow Green, and painting the garage trim, Sherwin-Williams Tricorn Black. The landscaping is to repair and replace the rear deck boards and paint the deck. To remove railroad ties and replace with stone pavers that are stacked 2 courses high. And to remove the existing privacy fence and install a new privacy fence. Fence is 1 foot further from the property line, closer inside, not further outside of the property line. And noting that the new privacy fence is a dog-eared style fence, which is not typically approved in German Village. Staff analysis is that HPO staff has concerns over the light fixtures, the entry door on the brick house, the garage person door, the French doors, and the fence style. The light fixtures are larger than what would typically be approved. The entry door on the brick structure and the garage person door are not listed as an approved style in German Village guidelines. The new French door changes the appearance from what was approved. And the dog-eared fence style is not approved in German Village. And there are 2 different heights for the fence in the rear yard. One for the exterior fence and then one for a kind of side interior fence in the rear yard. At the November business meeting, the commission requested the applicant clarify if the new windows have been installed differently than the historic windows, and requested staff add the date of the addition and garage and material information for both approvals. HPO staff notes both were approved in early 1985 and both were approved to be wood siding. The enclosed brick opening in the rear of the brick structure was approved to be enclosed with this approval. Other relevant COAs are in the materials packet, including the 2016 COA for repairing the existing wood siding and the 1984 COA for installing storm windows, and the new, the 1984 COA also is for the new 6-panel entry doors. So the door on the brick part was not a historic door, it was replaced. The staff recommends to continue the application to allow the time for applicants to select materials and fixtures that are more in line with German Village guidelines and city code. Specifically in regards to light fixtures, the entry door in the brick house, the French door, the garage person door, and the fence style. The basis for the staff recommendation is 301-611, standards for alteration. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Also 301-613, standards for site improvements A. German Village guidelines for entrances and doors, 1 and 4. German Village guidelines for windows, 1. And German Village guidelines exterior considerations, fences and walls, 3, 4, and 5. And the German Village guidelines for site lighting, street furniture, pools, fountains, and gazebos, 1 and 3. That's it.
Do you want me to talk?
Yes. Any comments or what would you like to say?
Yeah, sure. So I live next door to this property at 324 as well. This property took about 1.5 years or so to get into our possession. It had been a violation since 2020. Didn't even get into the property for the first month, had to work, well, took 6 months to get it to be able to be transferred. Worked with City Attorney Heidi Carr at the time. Because she owed $780,000 in back taxes to different entities within the state. She had a $12,000 outstanding water bill. She couldn't even get into her house there. By the time we took over the property, we didn't get into it again, like I said, for a month, because it was chest high of boxes, cat shit, poop, sorry. It was a mess. We had rodents, we had flies coming into our property, possums, raccoons. So that's pretty much kind of the situation, was working with the city to get it, you know, going forward. The neighbor, Paul, was kind of the impetus of the violations at first. I think they had a pretty combative relationship, but been in conversations with all the neighbors who were, you know, overjoyed. German Village who does the tour of homes has even reached out in the past 60 days to put the home onto their tour for next year. Again, the feedback has been, you know, very pleasing from the whole neighborhood because it was pretty bad shape. So did everything I could to match it with what I had seen in the marketplace already. I do development as my personal, so it's not like it's a hack job. The siding itself was MDF, it wasn't even wood, so it had never even been painted. It literally was just stripping as you would touch it. She hadn't landscaped in who knows how long. The story is, for what it's worth, she married an individual much more senior than she was. He passed away. This was kind of something that she had no idea what to do with. So it had been decaying for however long since he first got his first divorce. He kind of never touched onto it. And then she took over it, obviously didn't do anything else either. We moved in, spent a lot of money on that house, thought there was a lot of good things going on in the neighborhood. I've got some other duplexes on 5th and Frank Fetch Park. Next to Brian and Crystal Santini, redid that whole duplex at the corner up back in 5th. So again, none of this is trying to degrade the neighborhood. We were literally here trying to make improvements. We've currently left German Village. We've had to call the cops 3 different times, both for these 2 properties, just break-ins over the past 3 months. Hence the rush to get a lot of stuff done. I had over $10,000 of tools stolen from me. So unfortunately, at that point in time, for our safety, we have left German Village.
So we're here because you didn't get a COA for all this work.
That's correct. I have been working with the city on it, and then I was getting Paola. Sorry. Iola. Yes, and so then I've been emailing back and forth with Nicole, kind of like on how things were going to get done, and then it eventually got to a point where she said, "There's too much now. We need a formal submission." Again, the paint colors were stuff that I've already seen through, so that's, picked up the Pizzuti paint color that was approved down the street. Windows are straight from the historic guidelines and set in exactly the same locations as the original ones, which were, as you can see from the pictures of the doors, everything was just, there was no maintenance ever. So whenever this house was done, nothing was really in good shape after the fact. So,
Okay, so Nicole, correct me if I'm wrong, we got windows, doors, siding, gas lamps, and garage door seems to be the issues we need to review.
And the fence.
That's, thank you.
right, and so the fence is all one height. There's a portion where it does drop down 6 inches, and that was at a conversation with Paul, who is adjacent, who didn't want me to touch his fence. So I was just kind of, he was a good neighbor. I didn't necessarily care so much. I didn't want to mess with his fence. And so this is just another supportive structure that is covering the same height. To the left, right? If you go up, you can see it right there. It's where it jogs down. So that's where his fence naturally jogs down, and he's got the property as well on the back. So that first one, the taller one, is replacing the exact height, and then the drop down is due to some fence that he's got on his property. And so that's, you can kind of see the top 2 of his other fence.
Staff was also referring to the wood pieces that are next to the deck as well.
Yeah, so that right there is just a screening of a mechanical, yeah.
So I think the height is one issue. The other issue is that it's a dog ear fence.
Yeah, so the dog ear, I have it, it's approved on the 324 house, so that's a dog ear, and then the house adjacent to us is also dog ear, so
I think it was approved.
Well, I can cap it, I have no
Or you
issue.
cut it off. This is usually how we fix it.
You want to just cut it off?
Strike a chalk line and zip it.
What if I did that detail that you see with the top crown? I'm happy to do that too,
Yeah.
so.
But usually this has happened before.
Yep,
We've just had the dog ear part cut off. They
Right
cut
on.
a bridge.
I'd rather make it, yeah, I'll make it look better.
Whichever you would like to do.
For sure, I appreciate it.
Okay, so
Staff would also need to clarify a paint color for the fences per German Village guidelines.
Yeah,
Fences
for the
can't be
future,
black
okay.
leather.
Happy to stain it, whatever color you prefer. Again, I'm not here anymore.
I think we're more concerned about you painting it than anything else.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so let's start at the top, the windows. The windows are
Yeah.
types.
It is the trimline EC 300 is an approved window.
All right, so check that off. We're good with that. The doors. So you're
They,
saying that the original door, the door that he purchased with the original house on the historic piece was
Yeah.
not, was a new door.
Replaced in 1984 with the COA.
Okay, so he's replaced it with another door. Which
It's
is
slightly
late.
varies from the style that's generally approved.
Yeah.
in German Village.
it's the same, only there's the paneling in it to match the window detail rather than the kind of modern aspect that they had.
Yeah, the original was a 6-panel door.
The original could have been.
I'm looking at the picture.
Oh, are you talking the front door or the French doors? I'm sorry.
That door.
Yeah, the front door, okay, and that was a hollow steel door, badly dented. What's currently in there now is, again, seen around the neighborhood, I put some grids on it, but it's a wood half-light door.
Is it an operational door?
It is, but I wouldn't use it, but it is.
Okay. Anybody's thoughts?
It's really designed to look more like a window. If you were in the flow of the house, you wouldn't necessarily use that as your door.
And we call for 4-panel doors. The door that was there was a 6-panel metal door.
Hollow steel. Yeah, definitely.
Big piece of paint killing off.
Yeah, it was horrible. I mean, I'm glad you guys are aware of what it was. It was nasty.
The question is, this is an appropriate
Yeah.
replacement. Thoughts?
This was the original front door of this house.
Yeah.
But what was there wasn't, I'm happy to do an appeal like you did with the other individual earlier, or we can figure out another
That's
solution.
gonna work with this case.
Okay,
I mean, typically it should be a 4-panel door.
yeah, and again, it was a 6-panel hollow steel door,
Right.
so,
On a historic structure, it really should be a wood
yep, it's wood.
4-panel door.
Yeah, it's a wood door with a half panel.
Yeah.
Which you see, I mean, that's what, my neighbor's on Fifth Street,
Yeah, but not on a cottage, on a 2-story.
right?
Italianate maybe,
Yep, okay,
but not on a cottage.
got it.
Trista, your thoughts?
No, you're right. If you were coming to us.
We'd make it a
asking for this
4-panel
door,
door.
I'd say, no, it needs to be 4 panel.
Understood.
And the door types are on, just for reference, page 60 and 61 of German Village guidelines.
So would you be interested in changing it to a 4-panel wood door?
Is there another option? Can you
Why
find,
not?
can you find me? It's an expensive door. I know I took a risk, but damn.
Right.
I'm happy to, if there's an amicable solution, I'm happy to look at it and do whatever. It does add a nice characteristic to the house. It's adding more
Let's do
light.
the tally at the end and see where
That sounds
how you
great.
want us to go.
Okay,
Okay, so the siding was an issue. You replaced the siding.
no longer MDF, now we have true solid wood siding.
Okay, which is totally acceptable.
Thank you. Yep.
Okay, garage door is a steel door.
Garage door is a now insulated steel door, again, same profile as what was
Yeah.
built on our
Any
324
conversation on
house.
that?
How old's the garage?
1984 or something.
Modern garage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
and same with the, kind of addition where the French doors is, that's the,
So I think we've given up on the battle of the garage door, so check that off. Talked about the fence.
and that's to get clear on that one, well, I'm sure at the end, but I can lop it off or I
Yeah.
can do the detail. Cool.
And you have to submit a paint color.
Yep, okay.
Paint color that your garage is, whatever, you know.
Yeah, okay. Can I pick a stain or it has to be paint?
Oh, no, it can be an opaque stain.
Okay.
Yeah. Any, everybody good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, then we had a man door garage issue.
Yes, if you scroll down one.
Right. So again, that was just a hollow steel door. I'm happy to make a trade or a horse trade or
No.
this is now just a solid fiberglass door, but it's to there's the garage.
That's the garage.
Yeah, and you can't, you know, in theory, someone should have, so whoever's gonna live in this house, no, I'm not living in it anymore. Is most likely gonna put curtains on that French door and you're never gonna see through the backyard. Right now, it's pretty much a straight shot of, you know,
It's a garage, that makes a difference in what the material is. Thoughts, Commissioner?
It's modern.
Yep.
Yeah, it's modern facing backyard.
Okay, so I think we're okay with that.
thank you.
And then the last item I've got is the gas lamps.
So those are not gas lamps. They were originally, like she had a
Oh,
orb,
so I'm used to people asking for gas lamps, and these were too.
no, there's no gas run to it. She had like and even on the original structure, it was like a orb, like, you know, a magic ball type thing. So these are more yeah. And I don't even know if she had the shade on that one anymore at that given time. It looked like a glass dome. She had a bright daylight bulb in there too, so it was really intense. But right now it's just a 3 lantern with lantern bulbs in it.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think they look excellent, but
Any thoughts?
Are they, how much bigger is this current one than what was there before?
oh, similar size and scale for sure. It's just a different
Yeah.
shape, right?
I'm good.
Okay, so I guess we're good with that. And that leaves the front door.
The front door. Oh, the front double door.
Front double door.
Is that on the connector?
Well, the double doors are on the addition, so that's a modern addition. And again, the only difference there was I put the stiles into the window door itself to again try to mirror the windows from an aesthetic standpoint. It just looked
But not in the trains. But not in the trains.
right. They didn't have the transom like as a unit. I can retrofit them into the transom if you'd like to see it. Like, again, I'm handy enough.
Well, you see what the pictures show. Thoughts?
No,
That much different?
it's just reversed.
Yeah. I mean, this doesn't look any more or less contemporary than what was there to me.
Not much.
Okay, so I think you gotta buy in that one too.
That's just.
That leaves one door to discuss.
Yes.
It's mostly because it's in the historic copy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. I guess the only thing I'd like you to entertain before we make a decision on that would be from a livability standpoint, it does add really nice lighting into, and it's acting more as a window. So from a functionality and livable standpoint, that addition changed the front door dynamic and now it acts more as a window component rather than a door that's not going to be used in a room that's just creating, you know, a weird cavity in the house now. Otherwise I'd, you know,
Somebody asked about placing their solid door with something with a window. And I thought it was like, yeah, if it was a 4-panel door, could they replace it with like just a half light and 2 panels below?
I don't know that I've seen the 2-panel below, but
But I'm trying to remember, it was something like that. It was like, basically it was the historic looking door, but
That was on Jack, that was on Jack's also.
top half to be.
there's quite a few. That's where I got the inspiration from, candidly, obviously walking up and down. But again, it's acting as a light window into that living room and no longer functioning as the true front door for that house.
The guidelines do say that doors with 1, 2, or 3 lower panels and large single pane or glass windows are usually found on later Italianate, Queen Anne, and early 20th century buildings. So that's the guideline from the guidelines.
Yep, no.
And this door does have the divided light. Is also a point of concern.
Thoughts? I'm not for keeping it.
Yeah,
I'm for the 4-panel wood door. That's what it should be.
understood.
That's good.
I appreciate it. No, I really do. I appreciate it. It's been a labor of love and it was a,
Yeah. And
Yeah,
unfortunately,
that's-
I think it got better.
This door is not the only window into that room.
Yeah.
No, it's-
Some above.
it's not the only door. The transom existed and, you're right. It is adding much, I mean, it really makes the room that much better from a lighting standpoint. And then, I don't have any blinds on it right now, but someone's gonna put blinds all over this house and, it will kind of change the way that light comes through. But again, I hear what you're asking.
So probably if we left your application the way it is and you don't want to change it,
Yep,
you're not going to get this to go through.
got it. And if I change it,
If you modify and say, yes, I will install a 4-panel wood door there, we can amend your application to that effect. And probably, I'm guessing it's going to go.
let's do it. I appreciate it.
Anything else?
You know anyone who needs a door?
No? There's a market for that door.
I'm sure there is a
Oh
market
my
for that
God.
door. It's a nice door.
Yeah,
I'll find a
don't
place for it.
Advertise.
Yeah.
Somebody in the village will buy it.
Yeah, somebody in the village will buy it, put it in their wall.
Maybe I'll put it on my
Back or
garage.
something.
It's
Okay.
opening.
Do we have a motion?
Move on application GB 23-11 028 318 Jackson Street to approve the application as submitted with the one amendment by the applicant to replace the door on the historic brick cottage with a panel solid wood door.
And chop off the dog ears.
And to chop off or cap the dog ear fence
Right, yep.
And provide a color to,
and provide a stain or.
Got it. And can I do that all via email at this point with Nicole and just? Awesome,
Yes.
sweet.
second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed?
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your work.
I appreciate it. Oh, thank you. It's, to hear all the positive feedback
Yeah, I
was
walked
worth
by
it, was worth it all.
I walked by about a year ago, I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, thank you. Have a good one.
All right, thank you, sir. The chairman is back.
Jumping ahead to item number 10, GB 23 029 42 Thurman Avenue.
Hi.
You're all settled. If you raise your right hand.
Oh, okay. It's my first meeting. I didn't know if I was going to be swearing in.
Everybody gets sworn in.
Okay.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Your name?
Carly Campbell.
Thank you very much. Have a seat.
Thank
Oh.
you.
This is a request for action for new construction for a garage to construct a new 484 square foot two-car garage measuring 22 feet by 22 feet. The garage is to have the Owens Corning estate gray shingle, the smooth LP Smart Side or Hardy siding with wood or composite trim. There'll be one 16-foot by 7-foot smooth wood clad door. The door is to be the Wayne Dalton flush wood door in model number 45, which was wood plywood. There'll be one 36-inch half-light pedestrian door facing the house to be a Mastercraft 36-inch by 80-inch steel door, color matched to match the siding color of the main house. There'll be seamless gutters and downspouts, 2 exterior light fixtures, one in the gabled area on the alley side and one beside or above the pedestrian door. The fixture above the garage door is to be a simple glass globe gable light fixture measuring 72 inches high by 12 inches deep by 9.875 inches wide. And the fixture next to the man door is to be a simple glass globe measuring 11.75 inches high by 9.75 inches deep by 7.75 inches wide. The colors for the siding and the trim to be custom color matches of the house siding and trim as provided with materials. There is also landscaping. The fence is to be temporarily removed for construction and new fence is to be installed. The fence color is to be a darker gray of the 2 custom colors provided and is also provided in the materials packet. The staff analysis of the November business meeting, the commission requested the applicant provide a site plan and indicate a fence style, requested the bio page in the documents be removed, and requested a floor plan for the garage and the interior layout, and a site plan that shows the measurements for the alley. The applicant updated the materials and added site plans that show the garage, concrete apron, and alley measurements. The site plan also indicates how much the fence line will be replaced. On the topic of the LP Smart Siding, HBO staff has searched minutes from 2019 forward and compiled a list of all approved test cases. The LP Smart Siding has been approved as board and batten siding twice, with GB-21-10-031 at 921 South LaSalle Street, and for GB-22-04-018 at 753 Mohawk Street. The LP siding was also approved as a lap siding with GB-23-05-028B. Therefore, the commission can either conclude that LP Smart Siding has been issued 3 test cases, or that the board and batten and lap siding are different. If the board and batten and lap siding are different, then there have been 2 test cases for the LP board and batten and have been issued, and only 1 test case for the LP lap siding that has been issued. Staff recommendation that staff recommends approval and all applications to be submitted to HPO staff for review and approval prior to the issuance of the certificate. The basis for that recommendation is 301-612, standards for new construction, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, M, and N. And German Village guidelines for new constructions, garages, and outbuildings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Anything else to add?
Nope.
All right, open up to questions, comments from the commission. I have a few if nobody else does. First off, for the commission, the concept of the test cases, my opinion is that board and batten is a different application than lap siding. I think the hardy panels is a prime example of that, where we found that hardy siding did not meet the criteria in test cases, but the hardy flush panels have. So I would consider them 2 separate materials. And using our 3 test case standard that we've had in the past, I would say this would be a potential third.
And I agree with that as long as it's board and batten. We've got a case where it's not board and batten, the panels and the joints suck. But I think board and batten would be worth looking at.
This is supposed to be lap, correct?
As far as I understand.
Oh,
Yeah, I wasn't planning on doing board and batten
Right.
because it wouldn't match the style of the existing.
okay. Sorry, my error.
This would
okay.
be the 3rd lap siding.
Okay.
Smart siding.
Okay.
My other main comment is the garage door. Typically, we require 2 separate and single garage doors.
Mhm.
The reasons that we would accept a single double wide garage door in lieu of 2 separate garage doors, we follow along 2 criteria typically. One is the lot width doesn't allow the width of a garage for 2 separate doors. And looking at the site plan, it looks like you got about 10 more feet on the one side to move into. So I don't think that criteria is met. And the other criteria is if the alleyway is too narrow and you can't get the turning radius into the garage. I think the site plan shows plenty of room in the rear yard for this garage to be set back to get that 20-foot turning radius that you might need.
So my contractor did not feel like there was enough turning radius. The alleyway there's a lot of vegetation from other properties where it goes into the alleyway, so there is limited maneuverability. My next door neighbor has a 2-car singular garage and the one at the end of the street on South Pearl also. That's facing South Pearl, but that also has a 2-car garage with a single door. So maneuverability, I think, will be an issue.
Did your contractor look at it if the garage was moved further into the yard, so you had a bigger apron in front of the door?
Yes, and he has an apron, but it's still, I have to be cognizant of how much room I have. There is a tree that will be between the garage and the house that I can't get too close to. So the blue garage there is my next door neighbor. And then I believe the image above is looking at the alley from South Pearl Street. That also has a 2-car garage with a singular door.
And the follow-up question would be, the garage is the singular door, are they approved, or do they get done without approval? That's happened in the past too.
I am not sure.
Question for Steph.
Okay.
Pictures
And I apologize, I was not at this meeting, I didn't get a chance to make those comments, I apologize.
Staff has not checked the files for this property, so we can't confirm the approvals.
So those are my two biggest concerns. I think the style of the garage is appropriate. I think the siding choice as a test case is appropriate. I don't have a problem with the man door being property facing, you're not gonna see it from the public way. I think the light fixture locations are appropriate, the pipe, I think is appropriate.
Thank you. This garage you cannot see from any public street. The alleyway, I'm on Thurman, and then Breschler is the next street, and both of the houses back up to this alley, and I'm in the middle, so if you're looking at either end of the street, you're not able to see the garage.
Is it a public alley?
Yes.
It's considered public way for our interpretation. But I get what you're saying, for sure.
We were just, finishing up right now, looking for fire.
I'll take other comments, questions.
I agree about the pair of doors, there's plenty of clearance for two doors to sit there. It's set back far enough now, set back 8 and 12 and a half. There's plenty of maneuvering room to get in.
However,
And as you said, there's width too.
Guess
I'm,
that someone needs to draw a plan that shows that there's not enough radius to turn a car into a garage.
Okay. Do I have somebody do that?
Well, if your contractor thinks it's not enough room, can he demonstrate that by showing a plan that a car cannot physically turn into the garage from the alley?
Sure. And would you be able to check if that garage and the one on South Pearl was approved?
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, but just because it's approved doesn't set a precedence for this application. I would just make a note that all trims, rakes, fascias, et cetera, to be per the guidelines, page 78. Also questioning the depth of your footer, but that's up to the building department. Not our purview.
when you're talking to the contractor about that turning radius, I'm assuming you can enter the alley from either direction.
Mm-hmm.
So having the garage turned at an angle, basically parallel with your lot, but not perpendicular to the alley, it allows for a larger turning radius coming from, on my plan, coming from the left in, because it's less of an angle. If you're trying to come from the right in, it's going to be over 90 degrees trying to get, so that's not the turning radius we're looking at. If the garage was turned perpendicular to the alley, then you'd have the same turning radius either way. Just this, basically the turning radius coming in this way, you basically back out and go, continue out, treating the alley almost like a one-way for your driving preferences. So that's the turning radius we'll be looking at in evaluating that depth. Typically, it's 20 feet is what we say, what you need. So the alley being 12 plus 8 gets you that 20. It's kind of what, and then you have the advantage of having the angle. So that's
Okay, what about, so for my lot size, the further I get into my yard, the less, like I'm having more lot coverage. So I think that was a concern as well.
Yeah, I think
You don't have more lot coverage, you're having more alley side of the garage and less backyard. Lot coverage stays the same.
well, if she gets wider to have double.
Oh, wide, yeah.
50%, I believe, is what the cutoff typically is. We've approved beyond 50 for extenuating circumstances.
Yeah.
So in this case, it would be our requirement for double doors compared to 50% exceeding lot coverage. And so it would be up to the commission to decide which one kind of holds more weight in our eyes. Because they're both limits that we typically use. And we understand that the lots down here, very tight, very small, especially on these kind of lots where you hit that 50% mark. We're willing to stretch a little bit more to accommodate other requirements that we may have.
Okay, and which one is more important to you?
To me, the double door is more important. I'm not sure about the other commissioners. Double door.
Double door.
Okay, even for a house in the middle of the street where the double doors are not seen.
Double doors are seen. I'm not sure the garage has to get that much wider, or if that even has to get wider.
You have 8 foot is
16.
16, that gives you, in this case, 6 more feet. So 2, 2, 2.
Yep.
If you went wider, another 2, 3 feet wider, you can get 9 foot wide garage doors, which gets you more room actually inside the garage. In turns actually better than a double door. So
You don't need 2 feet between garage doors either.
So question on the size of the alley. For the properties that are behind my house, is there a way to get a survey of where their properties end and the size of the alley? Because my concern is there are fence lines that back directly up to the alley. And then there's vegetation on those fence lines. And then it might say that the alley is 12 foot, but that's inclusive of a fence line from multiple different properties, vegetation that's growing, a smaller, basically gravel alleyway, and then the Thurman backyard fence lines.
So in theory, a survey of your property, they can pick that up when they're there. It's all public record, surveys, no way to get that information. A lot of times your fences they could be on property line, they could be set in the property from the property line. It might be in some cases over. If they are over, that's a different issue. That's really a violation of where the fence is located. They're in the public way. If there's vegetation growing, blocking the alley, that's a code issue. That can be addressed. So we're addressing this property and those are outside circumstances that can be mitigated.
Okay, and so the ask for me is to have my contractor draw the maneuverability of the existing alleyway. Is that correct?
It would be up to you and the contractor to make the case that you can't get the turning radius to support 2, 8, or even 9 foot wide single garage doors.
Sorry, say that again, 2.
8 or 9 foot wide. Typically, 8 foot is the standard garage width. Some folks like the 9 because it gives them more space to get into that single garage door. Right now, you're at 22 feet across. So if you have an 8 foot and 8 foot, that takes up 16. That gives you 6 extra feet on an 8 foot single garage door. So you get 2 feet on one side, 2 in the center between the garage doors, 2 on the other side. If you went to a 9 foot garage door to get that extra space on the singles, then you're basically adding 2 more feet to the width of your garage. So instead of a 22 foot garage wide, 24 feet wide, you have the room on the site to do that.
So what about the landscaping that currently exists? When you look at, from up here, it's on the right side. There's a tree, there's a large tree there. Is your expectation that I would remove the tree?
I'm not sure you need to widen your garage to get 2 doors on
You can fit 2 8s on it as it
it, and 2 9s also.
But doesn't that give me if the garage doors are smaller to pull into and I already have limited mobility, what does the usage become? Instead of being able to pull into a single door, now I have to maneuver into 2 separate doors.
Correct.
So that gives me even more.
So you're parking 1 car in this garage or 2 cars?
Well, I'm building it for 2 cars, but I'm thinking about from a maneuverability perspective, the garage is angled to be parallel with the house. for the aesthetic look of it.
Yep.
And so in keeping that intact, to have two smaller spaces to pull into is going to be more challenging from a maneuverability perspective, where it's already challenging to pull into anyways.
We don't believe it's impossible.
Okay,
So,
You need to verify that it's impossible.
okay.
so right now you have a 16-foot wide garage door. You're pulling two cars in, you have effectively have two 8-foot slots side by side.
So if there's already a car in the garage, you're perfectly now pulling into an 8-foot slot.
But there's no,
Center divider.
right,
So hit the car instead.
And that's where folks like to have 9-foot wide garage doors instead of two 8-foots. It gives you an extra foot on each, so you actually have more space to pull into. You mentioned the tree being there, I'm trying to find the pictures, exactly which one it is. I don't think that tree's gonna survive when you dig in the foundation of this garage. You're gonna cut that root system straight down.
my contractor said that that's not an issue because the foundation won't go as deep as the tree roots.
Depends what the plans examiner says.
They're good, you gotta go down 32 inches. 2 is close.
Thought it was 32. Is it? I know Northern Iowa's 36.
It's probably listed on that foundation detail page, but there's two large trees on the property. There's the one in the back,
Up near the house.
and then there's one up near the house. And so that's what I'm trying to build within and still giving some walkability between the garage and the tree.
I'm not sure the tree's going to die or not. That big huge oak on Mohawk that we built 2 garages underneath and all over the place, I keep expecting it to die, it's still there. There 4 years later, so. Of course, it takes 5 to 8 years for a tree to die, but.
Just, I struggle with it because I don't see the turning radius coming from the left into the garage not working. We think without the diagram to show that, to prove it doesn't work.
Yep.
Okay, I'll work on that.
Yeah.
Everything else but the garage, a garage in general, in theory, no problem. Materials, everything else, no problem. I think it's just the 1 versus 2 condition, and you'd be willing to go above 50% lot coverage to facilitate that.
Could the commission clarify what they would be looking for on that new drawing? Just the detail of the different items.
Yeah, so essentially it's if the car is coming from the alley,
West side.
that radius, what's that turn radius into the garage with the garage placed where it's in?
I will say, as a homeowner, that makes a 2-way alley for me and only a 1-way alley.
Technically.
A lot of us live with that.
Technically, 12 alley is a 1-way alley. You're not gonna
Like,
fit
to
two.
get in my garage, I can only come from one side. One car goes from the north and one car comes in from the south. And I've got neighbors that pull into their opposite alley garage space to maneuver into their garage. It's absolutely insane. It's what it is.
I think when you're
And we
doing,
wouldn't approve those garages now.
you're doing that turn radius, I think where you could get it is if you're taking it from this plan view, the left side garage door opening. If that 20-foot radius clips your property corner. That's
There's
where-
a fence that goes out. That's my neighbor's fence.
Right, so that's that 20 radius you're talking about. That fence, that property corner comes into that 20-foot radius. That's the evidence we need because then you can't make that turn.
Sure.
Right now,
That may do it.
Sorry?
That may do it.
Okay,
right now, the information we have doesn't show us that information.
sure. Okay.
Right.
All right, so what happens as next steps?
Would you like us to continue this?
If we continue your application, it puts you on the agenda for next month. If you can provide the information about that turn radius from the contractor, We could look at it next month. If it proves the case, we approve it, we move on. If we vote on it now, hearing the feedback from the commission, probably won't get an affirmative vote, which means it would get denied, which means you have to go back on appeal. My recommendation is continuing it to get that piece of information to make the case, to get the approval next month.
Okay, so this is not something that could be approved via email in the meantime?
I don't think we can do that. Just putting the two doors in the one door to two doors, if that's the case, where we go.
And if you make the case for it being one door, staff can't approve that.
Okay, so I need to wait until the December meeting to resubmit again.
Right, so we would continue it for the December meeting. Okay,
But you would have to resubmit the information by the deadline still.
which is November 9th, it's next Thursday.
They would get, you guys get some extra time, right?
There's an extra week in the month of November, so everyone has the same deadline. There's no extra week added to that deadline.
It's a pretty quick sketch that they could just do.
yeah,
Protractor 20-foot radius.
there's templates for it. Continue.
Yes, please.
Mr. Chairman, on item GV 23-11029, 42 Thurman Avenue, I move to continue.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item number 11, GV-23-11-030, 278 East Sycamore. Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
Your name?
Josh Matzinger, CJU Restoration.
This is a request for action for an exterior building alteration. To replace three non-original aluminum windows with Marvin Ultimate double hung windows in the prefabricated color of stone white. And to replace the existing patio French door with the Marvin Ultimate sliding patio door in prefabricated stone white. Staff analysis was at the November business meeting. The commission requested clarification on if the proposed door will match the jam liners and requested staff identify the approximate age of the addition where the French door is currently. HBO staff does support the replacement of the windows. As photos indicate they are not wood and therefore not original windows. HBO staff would like clarification of why only 3 windows are proposed for replacement and how many windows are on the primary structure total. Staff had added photos of the rear of the structure from 2022, showing the location of the French doors and the AC unit. Staff have also added photos from 1995, showing the rear addition is unfinished or being renovated in some way. The photos were submitted with an application for painting. Sanborn maps indicate the kitchen addition was added before 1921, and that part of the addition was a porch. It is possible that the porch portion was either removed or enclosed, but it's really not clear from the Sanborn maps. There are no COAs or permits for relevant work to the porch or rear addition. Additionally, it does appear that a large AC unit was installed after the 2022 photo was taken. This is suggested by the unit not seeming to be in front of the door in 2022, and then it being slightly improved in 2023 from the interior photos. There is also a permit issued on March 25th, 2022 for the installation of a new AC unit, with the permit number being MMLSR 2212647. Because there is not a COA for the existing French door, it is assumed the door was installed without approval sometime between 1995 and January of 2022. At the same time, siding was added to the rear addition. Because it is not a historic door, HBO staff would support replacement of the door. However, the change in style should be considered by the commission. The commission consider if a sliding door is appropriate, given the addition is from before 1921. And a note that to clarify the conversation around the AC unit in the staff report is because the applicant stated that the reason is because they can't open the swinging door because of the unit being in place. The recommendation is that HBO staff supports the door being replaced as it is not an original door and was installed without a COA. However, staff also does recommend approval of the new clarification to be submitted to HBO staff for review and approval prior to the issuance of certificate with the following conditions. And the condition being the applicant selects a more appropriate door or that the commission agrees that the change in door style is appropriate as well. The basis for the staff recommendation is 301-611, standards for alteration, 3, 4, 9, and 12.
Anything else to add?
Nope, I was unaware that the AC unit was installed in 2022. The homeowner did not share that with me.
Questions, comments from the commission? First off, any issues with the window replacements? Door. Hearing nothing.
Check a motion. Mr. Chairman, on GV 2311-030-270 Sycamore Street, I move to approve as submitted.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Against? I say the motion passes.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Item number 12, GV-23-11-031-672 South Third Street. You both settled. Raise your right hands, one each. Swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and the truth.
I do.
Your name?
Kevin Lee.
Thank you.
Rachel Foster.
Thank you very much. Cool.
This is the request for action for exterior building alteration. The alteration is to replace an entry door. To remove the existing door and storefront, which is a painted wood on the west, which is the front elevation, and to install a new door and storefront. The new door is to be constructed of aluminum, the storefront window and doors to match the existing profile, and there'll be a new brass mail slot to match existing. The mail slot information is printed in the agenda. The storefront frame is the Connie 451T thermal series with a 500 wide style imprints, aluminum. The door will be the Connier permafloor architectural finishes in the sandstone. The staff analysis at the November business meeting, the commission requested information on the material of other entrance doors at the school and requested information on the approximate date of the existing door. The building does not appear on the 1921 Sanborn map, it does appear on the 1961 Sanborn map. And there are no COAs for any work to the doors for 672 South Third Street. HPO staff is concerned over the replacement door as the applicant has not clearly met the requirements outlined in Durban Village guidelines for the 2005 amendments for door replacement. The door appears to be original and the door does not appear to be more than half of, the door is not the case where more than half of the door is rotten or damaged. Staff recommendation is that staff recommends to continue the application to allow time for the applicant to either further evaluate the condition of the door or to select a wood replacement door. The basis for that recommendation is 301-611, standards for alteration. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12. German Village guidelines for entrances and doors, 1 and 9. German Village guidelines for the 2005 amendments for door replacements, and it's just the criteria for door replacement are listed in the staff report.
Anything else to add?
Yes, Chair. Have some background on information that was asked for on the door and the structure itself, as well as a few other notes in support. First off, in terms of the original door, talking about the history of the Berkeley Center, I think the original structure was near about 1950. There was a renovation to the front of the building, and I obtained my information from Deacon Roger Minner, who has personal knowledge of this situation, and the door especially. Back in 2002, the rectory was inhabited by staff, and there was the pastor had the desire to move the staff to the Berkeley Center. Of course, we're just moving the staff back to the rectory through the work we're doing. Needless to say, that was an accelerated decision, an accelerated design, and for Deacon Roger. And looking at the design as a whole, you can see the nature of the fast design as well as the nature of the capability of the door that was designed, which is I guess the speedy motivation is indicative of the design of that doorway. Fast forward to the present, so that's a little bit of the age 2002-ish, I guess, generation. Fast forward to the present, the Berkeley Center, important to talk about the uses of the Berkeley Center. First, houses the Nationwide Children's Hospital Clinic that provides primary care-related medical care to children primarily targeted in the South Side geography, but open to all children. There's 8 treatment rooms, a vision center that provides key services, and want to reinforce the need-based, the basis to the kids that are receiving care at this center over the long term is very critical to the importance of this center to the community, obviously, and to our mission. Second, there's a Dominican Learning Center that's located on the first floor and provides education to adults. GED, English as a second language programs such as this are provided. The lower level focuses on religious education for children, and the entrance also supports, it's a handicap entrance that supports the needs of the church, as there is an elevator in the Berkeley that supports the church. So setting the stage for the Berkeley Center, this description need shows a very diverse but a high activity need required of this entrance. Through time and with certainly internal staff, maintenance staff, as well as contracted groups, we have attempted to remedy the operation of the doors through minor and major overhaul, maintenance, and work to the door system. We have just found the incapability of this door system as a whole to support the activity needs of this center on a routine basis in terms of closing, locking, staying secure. Rearing back to the changing needs, as you know, the changing needs of the campus, this entire campus, our design looked back and said, what does the door system for this building need to accomplish? First, reliability in opening, closing, and latching to support the high traffic level. Second, very critical, offering security and threat protection. When I talk about threat protection, akin to the threat protection we provided in the door system of the school, threat protection is in today's world that we have to be cognizant of, is the door system design is designed for just to prevent the entrance from automatic weapons fire. So we have to be considerate of that need for this center, like we have designed for the school, the doorway and window system of the school. Additionally, in terms of security, there's a medical center on the second floor, and the storage, the real storage or perception of storage of drugs, medicines, potentially perceived narcotics on the property, make that door system have to be very secure. 3, obviously aesthetically satisfying the public and matches existing. Number 4, can be affordable, must be affordable in support of our nonprofit mission. And 5, obviously, last but not least, honors the architectural significance needs that we are bound to, and that you've witnessed that we've honored in our campus design changes in the changing nature of the campus over the past recent years. In conclusion, we certainly have desired to have fixed the door system without replacement. We'd rather spend limited donor money for newer purposes than replacement. However, our door system is just flat out incapable of supporting the activity as well as all the other needs stated above. Also, one more point, during the business agenda meeting, we heard favorable comments and just read, the new staff report from this morning. And we believe we've taken all those items into consideration, and we'd be happy to further discuss any of those items that you believe may be of question to you. Thank you.
Hey, questions, comments from the commission?
Just to clarify, you believe that the doors that are there now probably date from the 80s renovation, you think?
2002.
Oh, that recent?
Yes.
The doors are pretty recent.
That front renovation was all redone then, and that door system was a part of that.
Wow, okay, so it's even a newer door then.
And I think
File information on that renovation?
Not for the listed address, it's 672 South Third. It could have been combined with a neighboring address, for the property, but, we did not confirm.
You're small. Were you on the commission at the time? What year, 2002? No, I didn't join until 2005.
So it's before all of us.
Yeah.
I remember when the renovation was done. I think Hugus was the architect.
But in 2002, what was the building used for at the time?
The changing need was to relocate the parish staff from the rectory into the Berkeley.
Yeah.
So say that the doors of 2002 were designed for the residential use.
You could see that. That's obvious.
And it provided the first handicapped access too. That was
Yeah.
part of what happened.
And now it's a high commercial use.
Yes.
Stewartsville,
Yes,
which you worked on.
yes. Same system, Connier.
So we approved for the main city park facade, that door system there.
Because the original doors disappeared in the exploratory phase.
Oh,
Yeah.
disappeared.
Yeah, the initial group was gonna keep it because it's not a main entry. But when they took the protective plywood off, there was nothing there. Yeah,
I'm just trying to find a similarity between another type of facility.
I think that's analogous.
I think for the commission standpoint, the comment about cost, it's a secondary, it's appeals consideration. I would say that if it is a 2002 product, to me, that makes it not historic. If this entire area, the whole facade was redone in 2002, if it's not the original facade, then I would say the doors are not original. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm of that belief.
Yeah, the original facade was mid-century modern. Kind of matched the St. Mary's Elementary School.
The doors may be, or may be repurposed from somewhere, but it's not historic, integral to that facade, so.
Yeah.
and if they were kept any longer, eventually they'll probably be so beat up, it'd be back here to replace them anyways.
Let's be honest, it's a bunch of kids, they're gonna get beat up to their house.
Kids and everybody else. So, Mr. Chairman, on item GB 2311-031, 672 South Third Street, I move to approve as submitted.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? Favor?
Aye.
Against? Ayes have it, the motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right, moving on to item 13.
13 was withdrawn by the applicant.
Okay. Moving on to.
I got an email from Kate, or 35E6 one?
Yeah, I mean, we did that as well.
Okay.
That one was.
The next was item 14. GB 2311033-736 South Fifth Street.
Oh, okay. I guess I was both looking at
All right, hold tight. Is there someone here for 736 South Fifth Street?
Oh, yeah, that's me.
Okay, the next one's item 15.
That is me.
All right, GB -23-11-034 780 South Lazelle.
Not me.
Are you saying you're here for 14?
736 South.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
He is.
13 was withdrawn.
oops.
13 was
My
struck. It
bad.
just so happened 13.
Okay, so we're back on to 14, which is 736 South Fifth Street, GB -23-11-033. Will you please raise your right hand? You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
And your name is?
Chad Porter.
Thank you.
This is a request for action for landscaping and hardscaping for the steps, handrails, and planters. To remove the brick steps on the west, which is the front elevation, and replace with limestone steps of the same dimensions. To remove the brick landing and relay the brick at the height of the sidewalk, some bricks be relayed at the current height. To add subsurface drainage to move water out towards the street. To relocate the existing handrails to the edge of the existing steps to be attached to the subsurface concrete instead of directly to the stone. To repair the existing stone steps. And to install 2 new brick retaining wall planting areas with limestone coping on either side of the existing stone stairs, per submitted plan. Staff analysis at the November business meeting, the commission requested clarification on what work would be involved in resetting the existing limestone step, and requested additional information on how the handrail will be installed. Staff requested a drawing showing the location of the proposed drainage pipe, and the applicant responses in the materials packet, and also listed in the staff report. I will briefly summarize each of the points and then the applicant can provide additional information as needed. For the drainage and downspouts, they have been added to the attached drawing. They are attaching potentially to the neighbor's downspout if, so that they will have, not have a downspout in the front and adding a decorative surface drain to collect surface water and route it the new drain line. If that is not the case, the water from the downspout will be located to the surface drain, just the existing. Clarification on the step restoration, the steps are overlapping, which means the entire step complex needs to be disassembled to get to the bottom 3 steps that are broken and linking back towards the foundation. The bottom step is already 40% concrete, and the second to bottom step is approximately 20% concrete. And there's additional detail there on the repair. There is this chance that the steps break, when the undersides are so worn and cracked, the steps unusable. But that would require exploratory work according to the applicant, or just beginning work and assessing the condition. For the handrail style and anchoring, they've attached an architectural detail showing the anchoring style. They will penetrate through the masonry and anchor to the subsurface concrete, with the current handrail, or whereas the current handrail is anchored directly into the limestone, which is shadowed the steps and caused the failure. The handrail style for the new handrail is identical to the existing. Beyond the comments provided just by the applicant there, the applicant clarified that the planters are raised bed and provided a material sheet. There are no COAs for hardscaping or landscaping in the file, besides replacement of fences and installation of gates. Staff recommendation is staff recommends approval. The all verifications we submit to HBO staff for review and approval prior to the issuance of the certificate, with the basis for that recommendation being 31613, standard for site improvements A, and Driven Village guidelines for porches and stoops 1, 4, and 5.
Anything else to add?
The original basis for the project was because the handrail, the homeowner's mother fell on the steps. The steps are also out of code. They vary by too much, and some of the steps, but not all, are too tall. And so she fell on the steps and grabbed the handrail. The handrails are attached directly into the limestone, which over the years, different expansion between the metal and the stone, it shattered. She fell, and so they called us. They have a lot of hydrology problems in the area, both there and on the brick steps right next to it, which we're repairing as well, with dealing with the downspouts and lifting that brick to add drainage underneath. You can see in the picture that has the work details on it, the photograph, between the 3rd to bottom step and the 4th to bottom step, where there's a thicker black line. You can actually see under there, we did a little bit of exploration with a scope, and a lot of the base material has been excavated out by water over the years, and that's causing the bottom 3 steps to sink back towards the house. So we need to repair that as well, or they will just continue to have progressively worse hydrology issues until the steps cave in, and that'll happen from the bottom to the top. As Nicole mentioned, the steps overlap some, and so to get to the bottom steps that are worth damage, we have to pick up all the other steps. We don't want to be in here like earlier with due to neglect or construction damage, something that wasn't approved happens. So we want to call out that there's a risk that even if these steps, they will break. And so even if the original plan is, hey, let's just replace the bottom 2 steps because they're too damaged to keep using, it's possible that more steps will need to be replaced as part of the work. And then it's just a matter of what will look worse having, let's say, random steps mixed in there that are new compared to the old, or just replacing all of them with new limestone steps. That's all.
Questions, comments from the commission?
So you're gonna reuse these rails?
Those rails, yes, they'll need an extension.
Okay, that's, yeah.
They would move out, and then instead of going into the step, they would go and penetrate through the brick next to the step, and then we would attach them to a new footer that will add underneath. So that would all be subsurface, and we'll just extend where they connect, which right now they connect into the 2nd to bottom step.
So the post that's anchored in the 2nd tread, is that gonna clear the retaining wall?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, it's way in the front, too close to the front.
okay, yeah, okay. But then where's the scroll gonna land?
The scroll will also be extended down, so that it's not just hanging out in space.
You'll just put a straight post underneath the scroll?
No, we'll take off where it scrolls, and we will weld additional material into the middle, so the scroll will stay, I'll say, proportional to the surface. You know, it's an inch or so above the surface now. When we move it out, it would be an inch or so above the new surface. It would be hanging out 10 or so inches high, like it would be now if we moved those out.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know if that works, but it makes sense. So my other question is gonna be laterally, do you think that railing is gonna be stable this way with all that additional height that you've added to the post? Okay.
Yeah, right now there's only one post in the front and then it attaches to the house. We've considered adding an additional post further back, closer to the house. I don't think it'll be necessary, but that's a possibility if it wasn't stable.
There's code requirements for how much lateral force that can take.
Mhm.
You're gonna have to figure that out. I'm sure you're gonna get there, but. Architecturally,
So are you gonna basically take all the limestone off, fix the substrate, and then try to put it back?
Yes, well, except for the bottom steps that are too far gone. Those have to be new steps. Or keep pouring more concrete. Someone has done that in the past. There's chunks of concrete all over those. Some of the concrete chunks have been shattered and they reattached the handrail. And so this is a perennial problem over the years of these handrails, shattering both the concrete and the limestone.
I've got a couple questions. First off, you mentioned for the drainage on those downspouts, tying things together. Looking at the image on the left side, that's the neighbor's downspout. Are you
Yes.
allowed to tie downspouts together to a single run out the street? Or do you have to have separate for property? I know this is actually over the property line for theirs.
Right, well, they don't have, there is no downspout from my client's house that would be tied to this thing.
Okay.
We would have a surface drain. They can, if the neighbor would like, while we're there doing that, we'd be happy to tie their downspout in, because as you can see in the first photograph, they have a plastic,
Still,
yeah, and it is doing what it's supposed to do, except it goes straight down the steps.
So
And
I
pours
think-
water everywhere.
unless that's addressed, 'cause I think they actually have a horizontal downspout as well running along that. I think that's what that is, just looking at it from the picture. If you zoom in a little bit.
There's no other drainage.
Okay, I just see that thing.
Oh, I see. Was it from the back? Yes, that does the exact same thing from the back.
Yeah.
That one spills into their, the neighbor's landscape bed.
I think if you're gonna do all this work, if that's not taken care of, it's gonna be all for naught, because all that water will spill right down your new steps and just cause more problems.
Yeah, currently it's going to the landscape bed, which is destroying the neighbor's bed. You can't really see it in the photo because of how it's cropped, but the front wall there is.
Going to bed.
It's completely separated from the sidewall at this point.
It goes in the bed, and all the extra water is pushing the bed out, pushing the wall out. It's just, it's all gonna end up in this.
And we could tie both of them in, again, if the neighbor approves, not the neighbor's project, so. But it'd be free for them, so I don't know. what
I still
to
know the
say.
city allows you to combine two
Oh, the
properties,
two.
downspout or drainage to one.
Oh, but those are both from the same property. Yeah.
Okay.
Both of those downspouts. It's for, one's from the back.
Yeah.
And instead of going subsurface in the back, they must have just no drainage around here at all.
So this, your property, 736, has no drainage there at all.
Correct.
Okay. My second question, are you adding any steps to these front steps due to, 'cause you mentioned height concerns, height issues on the steps? Are you bringing those steps out any further by adding an extra step?
No, it's the same distance. We are adding an extra step. But these steps are so deep, we can bring them in some, still be inside the code, so that we don't go any further out of the city side.
So your tread depth would be shorter, which makes it, okay. And then you mentioned the scroll work, that front scroll. Are these railings not gonna be coming down in front of the front step into the sidewalks,
It's gonna be hanging out there.
No, they'd be off to the side.
off the sides? Okay.
Hanging out.
So you're not, that leads my next question is where's the property line? Are we approving anything extending out into,
Out further than it is currently?
Yeah.
No, nothing goes out further.
and my last comment is, do we have any historic photos of this property?
I couldn't find
There's
anything.
none in the file, or none in the packet here, but I'm not certain if there are any in the paper file or not.
The only reason I ask is the stone steps that are there, that's Columbus limestone that came from Marble Cliff.
Yeah.
That fossilized limestone, you can't get that anymore. We had to open up a quarry just to get that for the State House renovations. So if those are original steps, original limestone, we can't source anymore. Typically we remove brick steps and put limestone in. I don't recall pulling out this kind of limestone, putting it in, but if it's not original steps, it's a different story. So that would have a question, do we take off what's there, reuse with new limestone, but if we try to make the steps shorter, that begs that question.
Right, are you shading the existing limestone to get the riser heights? Okay.
So what's there staying is replacing the broken pieces with new?
So our ideal scenario is we replace the fewest number of stairs possible, and still have it look nice. Since there's a risk that stairs break when we lift them, because the most damaged ones that are primarily concrete, now are at the bottom. And so we've got to lift all the other ones.
Disassemble from the top,
Yeah, exactly.
salvage as much as possible.
Yes.
Replace with new when it's broken.
Yeah. But there's a risk that, because these steps are already out of code because they're too tall, but not all of them, they are all over the place with dimensions, which points towards it being, if not original, very old. There's a risk that some of the steps that don't break aren't tall enough to meet what we need when we shape them down anyway. And so we end up with a scenario where the bottom two steps are new limestone, and then you have old limestone, and then a new limestone, and then another couple old limestones. And so that's part of what we want to bring to your attention is, it's just so you know, that's a risk. Would be better in that case if we got in a situation to just replace them all with new limestone instead of having the mismatch all the way up.
The determination of the heights of them, assuming they will measure what's there currently and have a solid plan of we intend to put this many back, shade down what you gotta shade down, what you gotta use, and replace, in this case, two. So we're thinking maybe a third if you're trying to do a little bit of reconfiguring to get the proper number of steps. But it looks like you're gonna have 4
Original that would stay.
original to stay.
And the heights are such that if nothing breaks, we can do that.
Okay.
Well, separate from breaking, there's the potential that when we lift them up, when we look underneath, they've been carved out by water underneath. And you just can't really see it from the front. That's part of it.
I don't understand how you're gonna have, you've got 6 spreads right now. And you're gonna have 7.
Yeah.
You're not gonna come out any farther forward.
Correct.
How the hell are you gonna make that work?
Those are deeper than required for code. So the tread depth on each one is just short.
I get it, I'm talking about height.
Oh, height, because there's a 7th step.
Pardon me?
There's a 7th step. We would add one more step.
Yeah, so you're gonna have an extra rise.
But he's got the tread depth.
Yeah.
To accommodate that, and they're shaving down the miss.
So you're reducing the riser height of each one of these stones.
Yes. Yeah, so that they'll be in code when we're done. Because right now, some of them, not all of them, some of them are too high. And then the variance between them is also too large for current code.
So you gotta get shorter, which allows you to get one more tread, one more block in.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure that he's not going up over the water table.
No, it'll terminate at the same spot. It doesn't.
Okay.
And I'd recommend the shaving. You gotta shave the existings. Shave the underside, leave the historic alone, unless it's worn and problematic.
Yeah. And it's possible that when we pick it up, we flip it around and the other side looks great. So turn it around. Yeah, our preference is to keep, because there's level steps, they're the ones that are poor with damage at the bottom.
Yep.
Our preference is to keep.
These are brick steps, I think, no issue.
Right, yeah.
All right, any
So
other
this-
questions?
so the steps just will no longer line up with the foundation. Looks like it was.
Correct. Correct.
The course, right now, the steps should be about the same height as the foundation.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know that they're
If that's
exact, but it's near.
dimension.
Yeah, it's like just an aesthetic thing.
Yeah.
That's why the steps are all over this.
Well, but that might be 7 inches.
And my last question, so the side, the exposed side, that side there, you're putting in a new raised bed.
Yeah, what we'd like to do is mirror the current raised bed that you see on the right side of the picture.
Yep.
Which is not identical to, but more or less the same as the one on the neighbor's property on the left side of the picture as well.
Yep.
In the void where the landing is currently, extend that raised bed over and then return to the corner of the house. So when we lift up the brick steps and put down limestone steps there, that would fill that.
So are you, for the side that has exposed, so I think this is where you were drawing, are you going to build up brick to where the height of your planter is and then infill with a limestone material where the stair?
Oh, on the side of the
cavity
steps?
is? Yeah,
No,
what's going there?
we'll replace, essentially how it's constructed now is you have a gravel fill of some sort, from what we could see scoping it, gravel fill of some sort, the steps on top, and then they've made limestone veneer, so to speak, for the side.
Okay.
Make it appear that it's solid limestone over
It's
there.
like a cup of cheap wall, basically.
Yeah, and so we would do the same thing.
Okay.
And then just put the planter in. So no matter how people laid mulch or dirt or whatever, if you were to dig there, it would still look like complete limestone steps.
I'd recommend that you try to reuse the limestone that's there to build that sheet wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is,
You have to replace it with.
yeah, I don't think it's
Down
original.
below. For visual sake, if.
Yeah, the stuff up
Basically,
top.
trying to keep everything above the planter wall looking original and the new is basically done. If possible.
And that should, because there'll be extra material.
Yeah, all the bottom stuff. should
Yeah, we'll
pull
take the
out.
choice stuff out.
Bulk that's coming out. I think you should have enough good material.
And then there'd be an additional curb cut as well. There's not currently any drainage going out to the front. So when we lift up the city sidewalk and those steps and have that drainage, we'd come out and we do a curb cut.
Or core. Core.
Yeah.
Curb cut's a whole.
I got real nervous.
Okay.
Staff would like to just kind of clarify that if the neighboring property is being, there can't be approval for the neighbor, any work on the neighboring property without permission from that owner.
So what's the property line? Where's the property line?
It was.
The assumption is, you look at the lower pictures, there's a. I don't know if that ever got surveyed, that brick. Is the soldier course running through there?
To the sidewalk?
To the sidewalk? Don't know if that's surveyed in, or if that's just somebody took the line, and that's changed wall and ran it out.
Yeah, we didn't do that. The white mark that's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we didn't have that. So I don't know what that's there for. It could be a property line from previous work or.
So for the purposes of this application, we're gonna assume that the property line is right along the south side of the adjacent house? That works for me. Gets us there.
I'd recommend you get if you're gonna touch the neighbor's drainage,
Of course, yeah.
you're gonna wanna get a letter from them that you can give to staff on file, so everybody's covered. All right, that's a lot for that. Any other questions or issues?
Mr. Chairman, for GV 2311-033, 736 South Fifth Street, to move to approve as submitted.
Second.
Good questions. The clarification of the intent is to retain the four top original limestone steps.
Yeah.
sidewall of that portion to be the original limestone material. Can't do it, let staff know if it breaks stuff. So we can get it right here.
Yeah.
Any other questions, motion?
Are we adding anything about the adjacent property? To that? So they don't prove it.
On the condition that, any work requiring the neighbor's property gets authorization from neighbor to do so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we can still do the drainage work except for the tie with this, with the surface drain on it, because that's on my client's property.
Yeah.
If they say, hey, we'll offer it to them over here for free, we can tie this in, and it doesn't ruin your stuff too.
Will you good with that?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, we got a second, clarifications, any questions on the motion? All those in favor? Aye. Against, I have the motion passes. On to 15, GV-23-11-034, 780 South Lazelle Street. If you raise your right hand, swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and the truth.
Yes, I do.
Name?
Nathan Sampson.
Keep, go.
This is a request for action for landscaping and hardscaping of a masonry wall. To construct or rebuild a 5-foot 10-inch masonry wall along Columbus Street, to be rebuilt on the preserved foundation. The wall is removed for construction without a COA. The wall is to be a 12-inch CMU block wall with stucco finish, and the wall is to be painted Sherwin-Williams Balboa Mist SW1549. The wall is to have a new limestone wall cap and to rebuild the wood gate at the center of the wall. Staff analysis at the August hearing, landscaping and hardscaping, including the tree removal, was reviewed by GDC and approved. It was during that review that it came to staff attention that the masonry wall had been removed without a COA. In August, the landscaping applicant verified the walls were removed prior to their being hired, and they were unaware of any plans to restore the wall. Those plans would come later from the applicant who discussed the project with the HBO staff, including the rebuilding of the wall. The application was reviewed conceptually at the October 2023 GPC hearing, and the following is taken from the now approved October 2023 GPC hearing minutes, Commissioner comments. The commission supported the design changes made to accommodate the gas lead with the bulb. If the applicant was amended to wrap the rear wood fence around the area and meet the masonry wall, the wood fence would be an extension of the rear fence. The commission confirmed that they would consider the reconstruction of the wall restoration work, not construction of the new wall. Therefore, most commissioners supported reconstruction of the wall. The commission confirmed that gas meters can be painted with approved colors and permission from the gas company. At the November business meeting, the commission will comments or request for additional information. And staff recommendation that staff recommends approval with any all clarifications to be submitted to HBO staff for review and approval prior to the issuance of the certificate. The basis for that recommendation, and the staff report incorrectly says no action is required, there is action required, is through 1613, standards for site improvements A and B, and the German Village Guidelines for fences and walls, page 117 and 2. Staff notes that when the application was originally reviewed, it was a bluestone wall cap and was changed to limestone. Is that okay?
Yep, that's correct.
Anything else to add?
I don't think so. Besides the limestone cap, proposed change, I think you covered it.
One question for you. Stucco finish, smooth texture.
I think it will be smooth, it'll be a sanded, not super smooth, but I forget what the medium smooth grit will be for that, but yeah.
No swoopy waves of.
No worked texture.
Gotcha. All right. Questions or comments?
Yeah, what's the cross-sectional slope on that sidewalk? Is that actually accurate?
It's steep. It might be less than that. We took that sort of mid construction. It's close to that in some spots, but in some spots it's lower.
Is it that steep due to the tree roots that were there at one point in time?
That sidewalk in particular wasn't in great shape. So I think we took it off our laser scan and just where we read it was bumped up.
And granted, on the east side, you got to match what's there, I guess, but. That's a significant slope. I don't know what the city standards are.
The sidewalk, as is now, was taken up and the bricks saved, and it will be relayed according to city standards.
I was trying to see if there were any elevations on your drawings, but I don't see anything.
So it's done for city requirements.
That's, yeah.
Any questions?
Mr. Chairman, on GB 2311-034, 780 Southwest South Street, I move to approve this bid.
Second.
I do have one other question looking at this now. Looking at the previous photo there, very simple gate. Looking at the new elevation drawing, some more datish kind of gate.
Yeah, I think the new gate just has a border frame to it.
Or
I looked at that too, and I thought, okay, fine.
Okay. All right. We got a motion, we got a second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? I say the motion passes.
All right, thank you very much.
For clarity, the second was made by Joy. Where did you both speak at the same time? Okay, thank you.
Second voice.
All right, moving on to item number 16, GB-23-11-035, 200 East Sycamore. Both settled. Raise your right hands, one each. Swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Yes.
Your name?
Tally Friedman.
Thank you.
Dan Morgan.
This is a request for action for an exterior building alteration, and the landscaping is not included. It says it on the staff report, so I apologize for that. The exterior building alteration is for window door conversion to remove the existing double hung 2/2 window on the east elevation and enlarge the window opening. To install a new full light Mervyn ultimate out swing door in the same width as the existing window. Staff analysis is staff found the only COAs for work for I apologize, I don't know, it says 206, the stick mark right there. The one-story frame structure will determine the condition of the wood siding and replace the roof, and to build the addition to the rear of the structure. Drawings and materials do not show the elevation of the historic section of the structure, and there are COAs from the 1990s for the connector between 200 and 206 Sycamore Street. However, none of the COAs mention any work to the east elevation of the frame structure. The application was reviewed conceptually at the October 2023 GBC hearing, and the following was taken from the now approved October 2023 GBC hearing minutes. Commissioner comments? The commission confirmed that while the existing condition of the area where work will occur is a private courtyard from a bedroom space, this may not always be the condition. Future owners could utilize the space as a living room, and or the property next door could be destroyed. The commission suggested that changing openings in historic walls is rarely appropriate regardless of the visibility of that elevation. And the commission provided that one window being converted to one door may be allowable and would be more appropriate than what is currently proposed, where it's 2 windows to 1 large door. 2 windows converted to 2 doors might not be appropriate and would not be encouraged. For the 1 window being converted to 1 door, the door should be made to fit in the existing opening of the 1 window, with the sill being lower to accommodate the door. After the October 2023 hearing, the applicant revised their application to be for a single window to door conversion retaining the width of the existing window. At the November business meeting, the commission asked for confirmation on the width of the existing window and proposed door. Requested clarification on if the new fence was proposed and determined the need for a second door in close proximity to an existing door would be a topic of conversation for the hearing. The applicant responded and updated their materials package. The window and new door measure 2 feet 8 inches wide, and the applicant also clarified that a fence and all landscaping was not part of the application. Staff recommendation, the staff recommends approval, and no clarifications to be submitted to HBO staff. For review and approval prior to the issuance of a certificate. The basis for that recommendation, again, action is required. I apologize for not removing that from the conceptual hearing. Is 301-611, standards for alteration 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, and 12. The German Village Guidelines for Windows 1 and 6.
Anything else to add?
Since we met, since our revised application, we met with the homeowner and we switched the door to swing in rather than out. That's the only change.
So the question I had at the business meeting is, what is the door that is on the other side of the other window?
So that, in that little, I think it was the original, it's like a connector to the later addition. That is at a different level, and it would access the courtyard from what is a great room. It's a door that's just, it's not used, it's at a different level from the bedroom. And
Is it higher?
it's higher, it's up 2 feet, roughly, or 21 inches.
So the opening that's between the master bedroom and the bar, are there?
The opening's going away. That's.
Oh, it's being walled off.
That's being walled off.
Like, why do we need another door when there's one right there?
I think it was originally maybe a house for a bachelor, not a family. It was a single family. Yeah. Correct. As we were doing, we weren't looking at it, but I'm sure we'll be back for one more thing. The window we discovered a rotted window. It was a replacement window, so I don't know if there's a chance we could fold that, not fold it in. We don't have a documentation of it to present tonight, but it was a replacement window back when they did this renovation addition years ago. It's a wood window with a fiberglass sash pack apparently, but the exterior wood is clearly rotted off. Wondering if that's something that we could, with appropriate documentation, coordinate with staff on this application, or
Staff approve?
Staff can approve window replacements with the proper documentation.
Okay.
As long as from the approved window last year.
I apologize. We just caught it when we were out there last week.
We'll shift to replacement.
Absolutely.
Staff can take care of that as staff
Perfect.
approval. Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, on item TV 2311-035, 200 East Sycamore Street, I move to approve as submitted with the modification that the door is now unspoken.
Second.
There's a second down there. Any questions on the motion? Those in favor? Aye. Against? Let's have it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Guys have a good night.
Item 17, GB-23-11-036, 101 to 103 Thurman Avenue. Once you're all settled, raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, part of the truth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your name?
Joshua Young.
This is a request for action for an exterior building alteration. For to install a new door, to remove the existing rear entry door that was painted without a COA by the previous owner. And to install a metal entry door. The work has been completed, but no code violation has been issued. Staff analysis, the November business meeting. The commission requested staff check files to determine the approximate date for the frame addition and requested the applicant confirm the door material and provide a specification sheet for the door. Sanborn maps indicate the one-story frame addition on the rear was constructed before 1961. There is actually no paper file for 101, 103 Thurman Avenue, and no record of COAs being issued for the property in the our digital minutes that we have. HBO staff did check all minutes from 2010 to present, and there is no record of any applications or COAs issued. Staff recommends the application be continued to allow the applicant to select a rear door. The basis for that staff recommendation is 301-611, standard for alteration, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and the German Village Guidelines for enters and doors 1 and 2, specifically calling out the quote for drawing 13, that's stating that what doors are commonly found in the village.
Anything else to add?
I would prefer there be a steel door as opposed to a wood door. It's leading into an exterior into a cellar. And I replaced the door because it wouldn't lock. And it did not have appropriate latch, and my son lives there. I purchased the property in March of this year from a person that was a licensed realtor, et cetera. I believe the house was owned from the original, purchased from the original owner. Around about
questions, comments from the commission?
So, under the guidelines, door replacement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items. The only one I think that applies to this maybe is appropriate ongoing efforts have been made to weatherize, maintain, or repair the door without success. Would let it be replaced.
In terms of latching and everything, replacing the hardware, do that. Security purposes, storm doors could add extra security to that.
It's near Green Lawn and High Street. Right, you know, there's catalytic converters that have been stolen from in daylight from the adjoining property that's owned by Weiler and Company. It's 1 block more and you're headed into Marion Village. Preference would be security. You can see from the door, there's, I would not call that a secure door, and to be able to put onto, I'm guessing 1960s, 1970, small little latch where you could push it in with a stiff finger push. There isn't much to go on this. So when you go and you look inside from the addition that was built on, in which it doesn't seem like there's anything that was, you know, pre-approved or whatnot. There isn't a lot to go on there. You know, there isn't much to put. So I put on a lock that is appropriate that would hold it. You know, so I had to put a new lock in there and then had to put that into the post there. So it must have been a porch, right? And they blocked it in because the door leading out to the porch, I believe it's the original door. There just isn't a lot to go on there.
In terms of the frame or in terms of?
In terms of the frame.
Can the original door not be retrofitted with new door hardware? And then you modify the frame to give it more beef to accept the lock?
You can kick that door in with a stiff kick. There isn't much there.
And this is a wood frame?
It's a wood frame, yeah.
You can kick that one too. Right.
Yeah, but a little bit less. I put the same block onto the interior door. So that the brackets were replaced. You can see the brackets are rusty on the old door. The hardware is damaged. The doors, you know, most of the property had not been cared for. I'm redoing redoing the basement, basically new concrete floor. Dug out the crawl space 4 feet and put new posts in so that it doesn't settle any further. Put a sump pump into it. Staff is approved to replace the flat roof, the box gutters, the shingles. I would ask for a little bit of leeway when I'm putting about $100,000 into the property. If not, it was going to probably continue to settle, continue to deteriorate. I looked at the property last year and there's squatters that were in there on the second. So obviously there's issues. with the area sometimes when it's that close to High Street and Greenlaw.
If we were to approve a replacement door, at a minimum, the door would need to meet the guidelines.
So
What's there
six
currently?
panel, no windows.
No,
Or
Should match what was there.
what was there?
Yeah.
Well,
in the guidelines, at the very end of the application, there's two sheets.
I would prefer not to have a full glass window on a block door or leading to a cellar space that is not secure.
There's other ways to secure the property. Right now, you have
I
wide
know I
open,
have
regular,
ADT, you
never-
have ADT you have ADT, it is in both the first floor and the second floor. I prefer the back door to be as secure as possible, going to an unsecure cellar of the property when the next door leads into a non-exterior door that I put an additional lock on.
and a 4-panel door would not be, or 6-panel door would not be appropriate.
But the 4 panel as opposed to, the 4 panel or 6 panel. 6.5 dozen. If that's what I really have to put on, I'll put it on. I would
If you don't
prefer to
want
be able to have a window that is mostly secure, but visible. That's the reason why. I got it one to match because there's additional issues I've had that just taken care of through the staff, and which not appreciate that I've been able to do that. Person that bought it for a licensed realtor basically did additional work on the property without getting COAs. I tried to go through the process. It's the only thing I haven't done without a COA because I wanted the door to lock for my son. Because I didn't want, the day that I saw that someone's carrying, a man was dragging a woman in a red wagon in the front of Deshler. It kind of made me think, maybe I should get the door replaced today. So if it has to be done, I would prefer to have like one. Is there any, if there's a window where it's two, where it's a 6 panel with a window across, would you be at all amenable to that? That'd be more of the style with just a window on the top.
So typically, it would be half light if you want to have a window in the door itself.
Full like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like I said, I
Because you
don't
don't do a third light door. Can't see underneath that overhang. Is there a transom under there, or is it all boarded up?
Is it, where again? Point.
Under the overhang,
I,
assuming no transom?
is it visible? I'm not 100% sure if it's, I would. Yes, I think it may be.
And there's windows on the side of the property. Are those windows not shining into the same space?
You can see the blinds are put on.
Yeah. So you're looking for daylighting that area. It's already being achieved by the windows.
Yeah, what it's, my son's 6'2", he can see through the windows. It's not so much about the light, it's, it's a porch leading down into a unsecured cellar of the property. If it has to be a solid door, it's 6 panel, I'll do it. I would just prefer, it makes sense from a safety standpoint to be able to have a visible door, to be able to secure a visible door.
Are you trying to get visibility in from the outside or from the outside?
If he comes to the door and there's someone at the back door, I want to be able to peer out the door as opposed to open it because there's no windows there, right? You're coming straight out, if you slide open it and then you stick your head
Serve
out.
the same purpose, looking out?
Yeah,
What's that?
Would a peephole not work to look out?
or like a Ring doorbell.
I guess that would be period certain, a Ring doorbell.
I think there's other ways.
2023 would be period certain, wouldn't it?
I think there's other ways to get you what you need.
Yeah.
There's a camera right there in the picture too.
Yeah.
So I get where you're coming from.
All right, I'll put a door in if that's what you want me to do.
In theory, that second floor door,
Thank goodness I'm putting the other $100,000 into it. Because if not, it was dilapidated. It was, it's,
there are plenty of houses that have the original door still on them.
yeah. You don't want me to do anything with the top door that was there when I bought it, or?
Love it to go away.
If what?
I would love that one to go away, but
Place under two.
Can you swap the doors?
Probably a window.
Yeah, that is a window. It's a steel door. You can't kick that door in.
I'm not gonna make you take it off because it's there with the property, but
So when I bought that house, just so I know, because it's better to be honest and whatnot, but that same door is on the second floor. The person that I bought it from put that exact same door onto the front, but painted it green. Exact same door. Person I bought it from. That's why the other reason I got the door exactly as is, so I could try to. Yeah, that's from the Franklin County Auditor.
so that it was there to get the house. We're not gonna make you rip it out and replace it, but if you go to replace it, happy to get that kind of door, that full steel door to go away and get something more appropriate.
So wood door, 6-panel
On the rear,
on the rear there.
It can be metal.
It can be metal.
Guidelines say a metal door may be considered the size, profile, operation, and proportion match the contributing door.
seen fiberglass doors more often. I think a metal on the rear would be acceptable. I wouldn't put a metal on the front door, but the rear, I could be okay with.
So that door, 6 panels without windows. Or 4 panels.
I think 4 is more appropriate. I think our guidelines are a little bit out of date, but
I don't think you're gonna find a four
right.
panel metal door.
So if we go 6,
It's 6.
it's the rear of the house, I'll get it. If that old door goes away, architectural subdivision would probably take it from you or buy it from you.
Thanks.
Or folks in the village would probably buy it from you too.
I'll give it.
So we're gonna go with a 6-panel metal door. That's the amendment.
Is there anything else?
Anything else? If not, Mr. Chairman, on GV 2311-036-101-103 Thurman Avenue, I move to approve the submittal as amended by the applicant to be a 6-panel metal door. No glazing.
Second.
Any questions, on the motion? All those in favor? Aye. Against? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Thank you.
If you still stash the door in the basement somewhere, future homeowner might want to put it back.
All right. I plan to keep it up for a minute. Thank you.
Moving on to item number, before we get to exceptionals, we had 2 that we had jumped over.
201, 180 Lansing.
Anybody here for 180 Lansing? And then one withdrawn.
Yep.
Going ahead to item 18, conceptual GV-23-11-037-771 South 6th Street. Both raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, whole truth, none but the truth.
I do. Steve Hurt with Urban Order Architecture. Jeff Lee, owner.
This is the conceptual application for demolition and new construction of an addition. To demolish the existing seven-room addition. The addition does not appear on the Sanborn map and was constructed without a COA. And to construct a single-story addition measuring approximately 24 feet by 26 feet. The foundation will be a split base block floored with concrete. The exterior siding and trim is to be a smooth cement board. New aluminum screen panels, new windows to be aluminum clad from the approved window list, Velux skylights, porch ceiling with PVC board, and asphalt shingle from the shingle list. Staff analysis of the November business meeting, the commission discussed the new addition covering the exterior cellar basement door, and requested staff direct the files for any additional information on the porch addition. The applicant provided that the new addition does cover the existing cellar access, and they intend to add interior access if they have determined that exterior access is not ideal. The applicant also provided additional information on the sunroom condition. The sunroom has a standard concrete block foundation and a poured concrete slab, and also appears to have started off as an open porch that was later filled in. It was then further altered with asphalt shingle siding, and aluminum siding at the shingles, and aluminum siding at the lower panels. The applicant assumes it is a later addition. Staff did check the files, and there are no files for a porch addition. The staff recommendation is that, of course, staff recommends the commission offer design feedback that can be utilized by the applicant to further refine the proposed for review at a future PBC meeting. The basis for that recommendation, noting that no action is required, is through over 11. Standards for alterations, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12. 311, 12, standards for new construction, A, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, and N. And 311, 14, standards for demolition. As well as the Durham Village guidelines for additions, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Anything else to add?
Not a lot. We are, as when we add to cottages, we are doing a low slope connector with a covered side porch. We're keeping it a little further away from one of the existing windows in the back of the house. And then we'll have removable screen panels in the screen porch and beaded board ceiling, and we're just trying to keep it a simple, very simple addition. And it is my thought, based on the interior floor plan, the stair on the inside is very big. And I think that this was a 2-family, and then somebody converted it into a single family, took the original stairs out, built a new stair that meets code, and just eliminated the basement access from the inside.
It's like another double.
Yeah.
It does have 2 addresses on the Sanford maps on a few of those.
Yeah, you can see where the second door was on front.
Yeah.
Looking at your site plan, assuming that your north, maybe, sheet up wall
Yes.
is set to be 3 foot off property line?
Yeah.
Are there any lintels over the door that's being shifted to get into the addition? Any stone detail that can be salvaged?
So that opening is boarded up. So it's plastered over on the inside, and there's a piece of plywood on the outside.
There's a lintel in the picture.
Did I give you a picture of the?
Yes.
Page 9.
Yep. Yeah.
So I think it looks good. I think it's a nice addition. My only thing is I wish you weren't moving a masonry opening and would modify the bathroom plan until you first. I don't think it's that hard to do.
I mean, my thought is just flip that connector here, and you might not have to even change that opening.
Flip the connector.
With the bathrooms and the closets, just flip the orientation, and you might be able to keep that door where it is. So you're not changing that masonry.
I just move the washer dryer into
That's always that move the washer dryer.
somewhere else, to a closet.
So the concern is.
But you're basically saying, you gotta think of that porch area.
The connector porch, old porch, and bigger, the whole thing with the bathroom. I just hear it. It's vertical.
Right now, you've got this inset with the porch getting into your screen porch with the kitchen.
Yeah.
Basically having your bathroom down here.
Yes.
Since your foyer's over here, your entryway is still out front. And you could have still the door off the screen porch. You wouldn't have a door off the kitchen to the street, but
Yeah, and again, I keep going back to these questions of historically, this hasn't, it hasn't been an issue of interior openings. And for years and years and years, we've changed them with no questions. And it seems a relatively recent concern.
It is. And we're trying to preserve as much of the fabric as we can. I can think of it like this, where they blew the whole back wall of the house out, the whole freaking thing, and tied it together with steel. Before my time in the commission, totally inappropriate, just major damage to the historic fabric of that building.
I mean, if you look at
Really pushing back on it, minor, and this is minor to me, that with some modifications to that bathroom layout, you can maintain that door open.
there's a lot of stuff we did in the past preservation wise that we know better today.
Yeah.
Painting brick structures.
Yeah.
Taking out
Doesn't
open
work.
windows. One-off slate roofs.
Yeah.
Taking out gutters.
As I've spent my time on commissions and presenting to commissions for
Yeah.
longer than I care to think about.
You're not alone.
So they're asking that we modify this so that we can maintain this opening, which just means reconfiguring the closet and bathroom space, if that's agreeable to you. And we can figure that out.
Right. Guess we don't have a choice.
We're asking just to preserve the masonry because it's.
Okay, so the exterior masonry.
Yeah. And we're saying the porch is historic. We're giving you
Right.
that.
Right.
We're not having that conversation.
So you want to, we don't want, they want to preserve this existing.
That existing opening, that was probably the other back door when this was a double.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it like you just move that wall back and that just leads into a closet where the washer dryer is, and everything just shifts to the left in the backyard. And then you can actually have a nice big sink that just goes across that whole wall.
I think that is,
I mean, you have plenty of block cover, right? So if you had to shift everything over 3 feet.
Yeah, I think I figured the lot coverage were,
we could take away this, there's some architectural solutions that could be done. It's some minimal adjustment. Either, we said flipping and a little more, a little bit more length to give you a little wash and dryer nook back there outside the bathroom. There's a couple of different layout potentials.
okay. Any concerns with screen porch or
Looks great.
form?
Looks great.
Like the like concept.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really nice.
Yeah, we don't get very many cottages that people haven't already done stuff to.
And the guidelines really talks about that, and we're so far down the road from it, but they talk about cottages should be left alone and not expanded. Guidelines literally say that. Of course, that's, like I said, way down the road. But yeah,
This is a really nice home. We bought it in November of last year. Just put in a brick sidewalk, working with German Village. Back today, we just put in sandstone curbs. Because the city wouldn't allow us to fix the brick curbs we had. So we're really doing a nice job, and I think Steve's done a nice job.
is this the one that's got the big white garage in the back?
It does.
I remember when that was in front of the commission, you don't want to hear the stories about that. Well, you,
Oh, for the
Teresa,
garage.
you were on for that, right?
For the
You
garage.
remember than I.
Yeah, you had to be, yeah.
That
It was an effort.
Well, he wanted to do an addition on top, didn't he?
I can't remember now. I think he actually came in and wanted to tear it down. Originally, I can't remember. I just remember it was,
A nice deep line.
yeah, big lot, ongoing conversations about the garage. And it hadn't been used for years. I don't think he even had any, previously had owned it before that gentleman bought it. It sat empty, so there was a lot of deterioration.
Gotcha.
But we have to have it in place.
Yeah, it's a nice garage.
One comment, Steve, for your detailing, it looks like, half rounds in the existing house, or I want to continue half rounds in the addition.
Yeah.
Cool. Any questions, comments? Conceptual action. You good? Anything else, Mus?
Good. Any other questions?
No, thanks.
Thanks. Item 19, GB-23-11-038. 66 Fairmont. You're set. Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
Your name?
Brenda Parker.
Thank you very much. Roll.
This is a conceptual application for new construction of an addition to construct a two-story addition on the east side of the existing two-story brick structure with a tandem garage and storage space on the first floor and a dwelling space on the second floor. This would require to demolish the existing exterior steel stair. The first floor window and door opening are to remain but be enclosed in the new with the new structure. The second floor door opening to remain but be enclosed, and the second floor window opening to be lengthened to accommodate a new interior door. Hardy panel siding with Boral 1x2 backs, smooth. Trimmed casing, fascia, freeze board, belt trim, soffit, and springboard to be Boral. And asphalt shingle roofing to be Certainty 3000 gray with gray ridge roll. There'll be a box gutter. There'll be Marvin Ultimate double windows. And a ThoroTrue Smooth Star S2100 half-light door with 2 panels below. And the garage door is a wood door in the carriage style measuring 8 feet by 8 feet. And there will be gooseneck lights above the pedestrian and garage doors. The staff analysis of the November business meeting, the commission requested clarification on the existing use of the building and expressed concern over the design needed in the German Village guidelines. The commission requested staff add sampler maps and check files for any relevant building history. In 1973, the GDC voted to approve parking in the rear and to recommend a change in use variance from a carryout on the first floor and three-bedroom apartment on the second floor to an office use for the entire building. Staff recommendation is that the commission offer design feedback that can be utilized at a future GBC hearing. The basis for staff recommendation and no action is required is 301-611, standards for alteration, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, and 12. 301-612, standards for new construction, A, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, and N. The German Village guidelines for additions, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The German Village guidelines for new construction of garages and outbuildings, 1 through 15.
Oh, okay. There's something else there. Anything else to add?
So this existing building is being used as an interior design office by Judy Pilati. She's using all of it. So, you know, how interior design companies work is they have a lot of products that come in. And so there's a lot of storage on the first floor, and she's hoping to move some of that storage into this new addition. And then she's kind of playing with the idea of kind of a work-live concept as she, you know, kind of gets a little bit older and simplifying her life. And so that's the reason for the dwelling space on the second floor above that first floor storage/garage. So you keep using the existing 2-story for her office. And this would kind of be a little bit of a dwelling for a work-live situation. We plan tested a lot of different site studies to try to get a carriage house, you know, a detached 2-car garage with a space above. But we kept running into problems with meeting the parking requirement on site. So, you know, once we get this kind of big box up in that northeast corner, it eats up a lot of space, and then maneuvering is tricky in and out of it. There isn't a lot of maneuvering space. So this really came out to be the best scenario for the site to get everything that she was hoping for.
Questions, comments from the commission? I've got a couple. Looking at your site vicinity plan, showing a 10-foot abandoned alley.
Yes.
Typically when the alleys are abandoned, they get split half and half to the adjacent property owners. Is part of that your property?
This is not on her property survey. So for some reason, it seems like it was given to the other building, because if you look where it comes out onto City Park Avenue, their driveway takes up that whole alley. So I don't know what happened back in the day, you know. But her survey that we used to develop this site plan has the parking and fence right on her property line.
Because I know from experience, sometimes those abandoned alleys don't end up on either lot.
And that could be the case. I think she'd have to
Yeah.
hire a lawyer or surveyor in order to figure that out.
Get it, I get it. My second question is looking at the floor plan of the new garage area. How can you have stairs coming down into where the car pulls into the garage? Can you actually make that a double stack garage with the stairs coming down there?
So I haven't cut the section yet, since this is kind of preliminary, but I'm hoping that the stair goes up enough that she can get her car in.
Just looking at the plan as it is,
It's
that
tight.
bottom post, I don't see,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if plans and examiners are gonna let that happen. So that may make the garage moot right there, if you can't get a car around that.
Or we just do the stair internally to I mean, there's already a stair in the structure, right? Because there's a door at the second floor.
Yep.
Coming into that dwelling
Oh, there's one.
space.
Oh, okay, I see it. I thought that was the base of the stair. Okay.
You thought it started went north?
Yeah, I thought it started on the south and went up north, it's the opposite. So yeah, you're gonna be underneath this.
Yeah, I still need to cut that section and see how much clearance there was really gonna be.
I think going to our guidelines, starting from there. Attached garages are usually a big no-no. In this situation, as you mentioned, putting a carriage house or some kind of detached garage chews up space that's currently existing parking. So I think for the commission, if we push for a detached garage, well, that would kind of negate the idea of trying to have an apartment attached to the building potentially. But it would put on the table, say, allowing a parking variance in lieu of keeping our guidelines about detached garages in place. If that plan were to come before us, knowing what I know about Thurman, usually quite a lot of parking in that quadrant block, because you have the large commercial structures along there.
Are you
I could be convinced of that.
potentially saying like just eliminate the garage space from this structure and just ask for a variance for those 2 parking spaces and utilize this for something else?
I would say yes, because you basically be eliminating parking either for the new structure if it's attached and it just becomes residential attachment, or a carriage house, which would be apartment separate with the garage chewing up parking spaces. So we have to have the variance to allow it to happen.
What's the required parking now?
So it's 6 right now, but once we add this dwelling space, it's gonna be 8.
Okay.
So that's why we were tucking these 2 parking spaces in that garage. And I guess, you know, I thought it was so discreet enough being around at the back and not evident for, you know, not really viewable from any of the streets, the way the fencing is.
So I would question, do we have a COA for that fence across the front?
When I was looking at the files, I wasn't looking for that thing. So
We never approved that fence, now it's a 6-foot-high fence across the front. And again, it is a commercial building, it was built that way, so that's a,
I think one of the issues is if we use, it's a commercial building as a jumping off point, this addition does not speak anything to the commercial design on the front, on that thermal
Well,
facade.
if you want to get into that, I mean, this is, the fencing is part of it, but the guidelines say a proposed addition should not alter the essential character of a building, which includes its setting and its streetscape. This does. You're filling up that whole void space on the inside L of the building. I think that's significant. I would never approve that. Addition should be set back from the principal facade in excess of halfway. I would say the back end of that L is the principal facade still. Should not obscure or hide the original structure when viewed from any angle. You have really hidden this building from the southeast. And covered a lot of it up. The addition should be shorter than the historic building, lower in overall height, and the highest point of the roof on the addition should be lower than the highest point of the historic roof structure. I think you've done that, but I would certainly like to see a roof plan because I cannot understand how this roof goes together. Consideration should be given to building spacing, roof heights, window openings, level of detailing, roof shapes. Attached garages are the exception in a response to available real estate, which we're talking about that is debatable. I don't think the geometry of this respects the historic geometry of the site, so I got a problem with that too. I think it's just too much of a significant impact where you've got it. Don't argue with the program. Get it.
Looking at the photos of the Thurman facade, almost appears like, yeah, like, it's just speculation, but it appears like you've got this storefront, which is probably always a storefront. And this side little bump out piece, you've got a door on the first floor on the left, which doesn't look like there's any kind of brickwork retoothing happening there. So it's probably original door opening, window on the right, and up above that door, top of metal stairs, probably a window originally. That was probably the shop owner's little dwelling initially. And taking an addition and wrapping the front of this thing, it goes against everything we've done with. When we get those kind of additions on buildings, it's usually you have a building, empty lot next to it, you just kind of tack on the side, as opposed to wrapping around the principal facade.
How would you feel if we deleted the whole middle and just had the really long skinny addition? So it's not covering up the
I think
inside
that
out.
goes back to the, you've got a mass void thing going on, Thurman, and you're filling up that void with that, and I don't think that, for me, that doesn't work.
So she can't do anything with that side property, basically.
That's my, right, I think you need to address out and back.
Okay.
Is there a basement?
You know, I don't know. Okay.
Storage space apartment, what are you thinking?
Basement storage, basement apartment. Yeah, my contractor said basement's kind of free space.
Yeah, it is.
If it's tall. I mean, you know
Yeah.
what,
Yeah.
you know, 7 feet's code, so if it's less than
I
that.
think Anthony's analysis of what's existing, I think that back LP sticking out was probably the original residence. And that was, like Anthony pointed out, I think that was the front door with the side window. And they had a front yard there, which is why I'm really pushing back to you about building that in.
So say that again, you think the wing or
Where
the,
the stair and the exterior fire escape is.
yeah, you think that was the front entrance into the dwelling portion?
They probably access into the rear of their shop.
They had a real, yeah, they had a real plus here. And the fact that most of these guys didn't have, they had side stairs that if they were above. These guys actually had a front door, a front yard. I think that's what this was. And then this was their front door right here. I think that's really significant about the property.
I could see, if you go back to the plan, site plan,
This third actual set.
go to the new site plan. I could probably get behind attaching the structure that respected that void,
Mm-hmm.
take this back. Yeah, there's evidence that there was an auto house or garage back there. I could be convinced
Okay,
of a parking variance if we're taking out 2 or 3 spaces.
okay. So it's almost like kind of taking the skinny part and sliding it back so that we're behind the L
Yeah.
piece. Like, so that front yard space is sacred.
Right. And we
Okay.
had a lot of conversations on other projects. Thinking of the one next to King Fetch Park.
Yeah.
And some other ones where the void is important, or the one on Mohawk, 640 Mohawk.
Did it for the school.
For the
The
school.
entire school was all about void.
Yeah, so the void is important.
Okay,
But like you said, I think you get it back there, I'm good.
I think that opened up the
it's a
conversation.
viable solution to kind of still get a little bit of the dwelling attached so she can have the live work
Yeah.
set up and then I just need to figure out kind of the parking maneuvering and how that might work.
Well, and you might not even lose 2 spaces. If you keep it a 2-story unit. You
Right,
could have, yeah, them pull in here and only potentially get a variance for the 2 additional dwelling units. Or just do a 1-story and get it.
Typically don't allow attached garages,
But you could separate it just enough.
right, but I could also be okay with attached garage if we stick it back here and you're basically pulling it into a garage here.
right,
This could be storage or whatever, and you
right,
can finagle around a little bit with the parking to try to get as much in there.
yeah,
I prefer not to have an attached garage, but it is a historically commercial space. I think that may open the door for that.
I don't think it needs to be attached, though. I think it can still follow the guidelines. You can just have a nice little like brick walkway. She can access like the front.
Yeah.
Void space as well as.
yeah, I think she wants it connected to that, her office is on the 2nd floor, so
Yeah.
she'd want like I mean, maybe there's nothing on the 1st floor, but maybe, I don't know how you guys feel about
Some
a
kind of
little
connect-
bridge
so
or.
it's not smack against each other, but.
Right, so
Yeah.
there's 2
Yeah.
masses, okay. Okay, we have to get some variances for other things. In this design, our side yards weren't compliant, so.
So I think also, if you want to play the logic game or the game for parking, the fact that the person that's living, and this is not going to be always the case, but the person living in the unit also is working in the building, so there's some concurrency that's not going to happen.
Right,
That doesn't buy down the future if she sells it or moves out or anything, but I'd help the case for getting a variance from the commission as a recommendation.
okay. So I'll come back with a new design with an attached. I guess the question is if attached is a problem as well and we went to a detached concept, is the board going to be supportive of a 2nd floor space that she can, again, that live work?
When real estate has been a problem, there's a couple of cases in the village where we have allowed attached garages. because
Okay.
there's just no freaking other way
Okay,
to get a garage on that minimal amount of site. But you need some parking for the commercial site.
yeah, okay. All right, well, we'll see what we can come up with.
And I'd also make the case when you're looking at it is the south side of Thurman, it's a commercial parking lot. So the on-street parking demand there is lowered. You look at what's going up and down City Park right there, and your building takes up that big chunk of that first block right there. So there is on-street parking available in that vicinity, more so than other areas of the village. I
Okay,
think the demand is minimal, so I think that also speaks to your favor of parking variances.
okay.
So just as a heads up, we're gonna ask about the fence.
Oh, let me make a note so I can talk to her about
See if
that.
there's a COA on it. Because if there's not, we're probably gonna ask you to get rid of it.
And this is the front fence, correct? Okay.
Yeah, it offers opportunity for
Some landscaping.
live work landscaping.
We have a nice garden, right? But then we have to come back with a garden design. You're making more work for everybody.
But a better environment for the owner of the dog.
There's already some landscaping there as is, so you just modify what's there.
Yeah.
Are you gonna to see if that came through, or do I need the fence?
So I will check the file to see if we have a COA on file with fence.
Okay, okay.
Or if Judy remembers when it went out. Doesn't look hardly.
I don't know if she had it put up or if it was before her.
I know we never have, it never came in front of the commission. Yeah. This property's never come in front of the commission because
Maybe it was put up in the 70s and it's just been well
So
maintained.
she remembers it was already there when she modeled.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Cool.
it's there, yeah.
I would say that as she's going about this,
There's trees there.
Yeah.
That's nice. Hmm. It looks much more,
Oh, it was there. If you go to April 2009, it's there. Yeah. So now.
yeah, in 2007.
if
2007, it was just amongst all those.
Bushes.
I can't tell.
let Judith know, if she's going about this project, if she wants to do some work on that storefront, I think it could be approved.
To rehabilitate it, kind of, or,
And that the squatty little door, it doesn't seem to fit.
okay.
Things happened to that facade in the past.
Yeah, what's the current photo?
Lower over here.
If you go to the current day photo,
Yeah, we're gonna look at the door now.
I mean,
Yeah, that's what was there in those older photos. I think,
It was just painted black.
yeah.
just 7, but if you talk about what the original facade looked like in the beginning, it probably would not have been those kind of windows.
Oh, no.
Would not have been that door open, it would have been more of a storefront that you see elsewhere. So just saying, if she
Yeah, so
doesn't like the facade,
What's above it? What kind of panel is above that door?
let's say just some wood infill panels.
Would have been glass.
Oh, okay.
Like that.
Yeah, originally it probably would have had a little knee wall, right, to protect it at grade, and then it would have been full height glass.
Several examples of this kind of stonework around a commercial front on the village.
Mm-hmm,
Sycamore's got 2 that I can think of. Rex got at least 1,
okay.
2. 6th Street's got 1.
You got Old Mohawk, similar,
Yeah.
but similar kind of.
Okay. So would she just have custom wood windows made? Is that what traditionally was
Yeah,
go in those?
yeah, they would have been fixed.
Yeah. And then it's just determining kind of,
Cafe was too.
Yeah, we actually had Sycamore take out one of their big glass windows, put a
Coffee thing in, yeah.
pass through window. That door is definitely
not compliant?
Getting a whole door.
a 9-panel door, that's a new one.
It's just like it's a flush panel and they just added the molding on it for the,
60s.
yeah.
So,
Um,
let her know if she has not addressed the facade because she's afraid of the commission. We're open to things.
okay, I'll see where she stands with those. I mean, maybe those improvements could be done as part of this project. It's
Yeah.
just spending money and, you know, getting loans, then
Yeah.
just roll it in.
Yeah, what's another?
Right.
The metal fire escape staircase could come out. That'd be fantastic.
Well,
But that chapter very full.
So if that fire escape comes out, do you need a second way out of the second floor?
well, so that's what we were accomplishing with this addition. So if we kept it attached, we could come down the new stair as our second means of egress. If we detach it, that metal stair has to stay.
Yep.
So maybe that's a reason to help keep it
So that-
attached.
Have you looked into alternative compliance methods for this building?
And I haven't really looked at anything for the
Oh.
existing building. I've just started tinkering on the,
Because that might help you get not having.
oh, not having that egress. Yeah, but isn't, well, that's a lot of work.
There's trade-offs.
Yeah, it's a
A
lot.
lot of work.
It's a lot of, because it's already there. You know what I mean? So now we're taking that away, so we're making it less safe. And so now we've got to add other things in order to make it more safe.
But the problem is it's not covered. And code requires it's covered.
It's still safer than no stair at
Yeah, but
all.
when you go for a permit,
Yeah.
they're gonna look at that.
But I guess what I haven't, sorry, we're sorting this. I just assumed this is a residential building.
I thought it was all commercial. But the zoning had been changed.
The zoning is changed, but yeah, so everything, yeah, you're right. I haven't really, that's not how I was kind of approaching it.
You're
So I
in
need to
parts
get
of
my
that
arms around
district, but if it's been superseded for that property.
Yeah, it's been,
So we're gonna have to do like the whole life safety plan for the whole thing and yeah, good reminder.
We're here for.
Okay,
So,
well, thanks for your time.
thanks for coming in. We do need to close out one application for Northern Streets.
yep.
Item number 7, 180 Lansing Street. Is there a motion to continue?
I move to continue 180 Lansing Street.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor? Aye. Against? Ayes have it, motion passes. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I got a quick question.
Sure.
Do you want to do it after we close, or do you want me to ask it now?
What's it in regards to?
It is in regards to staff approval of landscape.
We can get after.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions on the motion? Those in favor? Aye. Against? Too bad. Can't do it.
So